Marrying a 50-year-old aunt at 18, I'm going crazy with joy. The village woman, Liu Mei, found an abducted wandering fool on the road and named him Da General. She never imagined his true identity. Da Gen was beaten to a pulp while protecting her. By a stroke of luck, Da Gen's biological mother found him, revealing the shocking truth about Da Gen's real background. Chapter 1: Foolish men are also treasures. The summer in Yancheng is extremely hot. Even at night, the city's villages remain stuffy and sweltering. In her rental apartment, Liu Mei felt as if she were trapped in a steamer, the sticky sweat soaking through her thin pajamas. She got up, stripped off her pajamas, and irritably wiped the sweat off her face. But the more she wiped, the hotter she felt. Seeing the man beside her still sound asleep, Liu Mei kicked him in frustration. Da Gen, who had been sleeping soundly, was jolted awake by the unexpected kick. Rubbing his eyes, he asked, "My jie, what's wrong?" The room was dark, with only a sliver of light coming from the window. In that faint light, Da Gen could already see everything clearly. Liu Mei had no defenses against Da Gen, because he was a fool. Da Gen was the man Liu Mei had picked up from a construction site. At that time, Liu Mei had been tricked by a sleazy old bachelor into sharing a rental apartment, almost getting assaulted by a group of men. It was Da Gen who saved her life. Back then, Da Gen was just a homeless man, dark and dirty. After she took him back to her apartment and cleaned him up, she realized she had found a gem. Da Gen was not only tall and strong but also extraordinarily handsome. They lived together and became the temporary couple in everyone's eyes. Having Da Gen around gave Liu Mei a sense of security. Her husband had died young, and because she was constantly harassed by sleazy men in her village, she had to leave and find work in the south. But once she left, Liu Mei realized that a young and beautiful single woman like herself was actually unsafe everywhere. However, since having Da Gen around, Liu Mei noticed that there were fewer men with ill intentions nearby. But Da Gen, who was mentally slow, was completely clueless about such matters, which sometimes made her extremely frustrated. For example, right now, despite her being so proactive, Da Gen remained completely unaffected. "Stop sleeping. Fan me with the fan, this damn weather is going to cook me alive," Liu Mei complained. Da Gen obediently picked up the fan but, while fanning, kept dozing off. Liu Mei felt the breeze from the fan was still hot. No wonder people said you can't survive summer in Yancheng without air conditioning. But air conditioning costs thousands, which was equivalent to her annual salary. There's no way she could afford it. Just with that thought, she started to consider going back home. Liu Mei finally felt a little drowsy. She glanced at the muscular Da Gen and, with a hint of longing, moved closer to him and said, "Hey, Da Gen, stop sleeping. Come play a game with me." "But my jie, I need to pee," Da Gen replied, sounding aggrieved. Go. Lazy donkey. Always full of piss and crap," Liu Mei snapped, turning her back to him, clearly frustrated that he didn't understand her hints. Da Gen cautiously left the room and went to the public restroom in the yard. He and Liu Mei lived in a temporary dormitory set up beside the construction site. The restroom and the shower were in the same place. As he approached, he heard the sound of someone showering and knocked on the door. "Who's there?" a voice from inside asked. It was Wang Lejuan from the construction site. "Li Huanjie, I need to pee. Hurry up." Da Gen was holding his stomach, hopping from foot to foot. "Da Gen." Wang Lejuan's voice suddenly softened. "You need to pee? I just started, so come in, it's fine. There's no one here." "No way. My jie says men and women can't be in the same place." Da Gen refused firmly. "Then why do you live with Liu Mei?" "My jie said she's my temporary wife, so she's an exception." "What a fox." Wang Lejuan's tone became angry, but she quickly added, "Da Gen, it's fine. I'm also an exception. Don't worry, come in, it's okay." The door suddenly opened, and she grabbed his arm, trying to pull him inside. Da Gen jumped back in surprise, and Wang Lejuan's eyes seemed to burn with intent as she grinned and said, "Da Gen, don't worry. I won't eat you up. If Liu Mei wasn't holding onto you, you would have been mine already." Terrified, Da Gen managed to pull away, saying, "Li Huanjie, you just said you wouldn't eat me, but you're already hungry for me. I'm not letting you eat me." He turned and quickly ran off. Wang Lejuan, not dressed properly, dared not chase after him. Watching him run off, she stamped her feet in frustration. What a good opportunity, and he runs off. Liu Mei's foxiness really lucked out. Her anger, which had started to subside, flared up again. She dressed in a huff and went back into the room. Da Zhen, scared to return to the restroom, ran downstairs and found a corner in the yard. But after a moment of hesitation, he felt it would be better not to pee there, as he'd be scolded. Tucking his pants in, he ran out to the construction site, hoping to avoid getting scolded. He ran a few dozen meters before stopping by an unfinished building, where he relieved himself, preparing to head back. Suddenly, he heard a lewd voice from inside the building. Damn, it was worth sitting in the bar for 2 days. I finally picked up a real gem. This woman is so damn fine, TSK TSK. Did you bring the stuff? Hurry up, don't wake her up. Goddamn, why do you have the stuff hidden inside? Get it out. Da Zhen peeked inside, unable to resist. He saw a woman thrown into a corner. Her face was hidden by her long, wavy hair, but her body, especially her long legs, was enough to make his heart race, even in the dark. The men were whispering as one of them reached out to kiss the woman. Don't move. The stuff isn't dissolved yet, don't wake her up. Da Zhen could tell something bad was happening, even though he didn't fully understand. He felt that these men were trying to hurt the woman. My Jie said only the worst people would hurt a woman. I need to help her, he thought, and suddenly recalled that my Jie had also told him to find the police when he encountered bad people. With that, he shouted loudly, Uncle Policeman. They are hurting a woman. Come and catch them. Shit, someone is calling the police. Who the hell is meddling in our business? Let us go, quick. Don't wait for the police. The men, already nervous, fled before Da Zhen could confirm whether his cry had worked. Seeing them run off, Da Zhen quickly ran over, picked up the woman from the ground, and rushed her toward a nearby alley. Oh! Just as he was running, the woman suddenly moaned and wrapped her arm around his neck. With a soft voice, she asked, Who are you? Da Zhen didn't know what was going on and didn't look at her face closely. He said, Sister, you woke up. Some bad men were trying to hurt you, but I scared them off. Don't worry, I'll take you to the police now. The woman said nothing, but she clung to his neck. Her messy hair covered most of her face, but beneath it, her hazy eyes were fixed on him. Suddenly, she gave a hard push, and Da Zhen, caught off guard, stumbled and fell back, trying to protect her by twisting his body to land on his back. Sister, what are you doing? Da Zhen groaned, rubbing his aching back. What am I doing? You're such a fool, taking advantage and pretending to be innocent, the woman muttered, her face flushed, her breath heavy with alcohol as she touched his face. Then, she leaned in and whispered something in his ear. Da Zhen's mind went blank, everything spinning like a roller coaster. He didn't know how much time passed before the woman grunted and climbed off him. She looked at him with a complicated expression and secretly sneered. Who would thought, the daughter of the big boss, Tang Heshin, would end up with a fool in a rundown construction site. She grabbed her bag and threw it at Da Zhen before standing up in high heels, staggering into the darkness outside the site. Chapter 2, My Jie, I'm hungry. Da Zhen stared blankly as the woman walked away, licking his lips as if he could still taste the sweet-sour sensation. He glanced into the darkness, watching her figure grow smaller until it disappeared, not even having a clear look at her face. After standing still for a while, it all felt like a dream. He fumbled his way back home. The room felt like a steam basket, hot and stifling. Every time Liu Mei tried to sleep, she was disturbed by the noise from next door, where Li Lingling was causing a ruckus. When Da Zhen returned, Liu Mei didn't ask why he'd taken so long to pee, but instead, feeling a little embarrassed, she approached him with a flushed face and said, Hey, Da Zhen, I want. Before she could finish, she saw Da Zhen collapse onto the bed, eyes closed, and immediately start snoring loudly. Da Zhen was completely exhausted. Even though the earlier incident with the woman hadn't lasted long, the situation had almost cost him his life, and his strength was utterly drained. Such a fool! Liu Mei muttered, annoyed. She got up, put on her nightgown, grabbed a bucket, and headed for the bathroom. She planned to take a cold shower to cool off. Meanwhile, Da Zhen, still in a daze, had no idea Liu Mei had gone to take a shower. Suddenly, he felt someone touching his chest and heard a clicking sound. His body itched from the touch, and he mumbled, "My Jie, stop playing around." He grabbed the hands, and then heard a soft hum by his ear, followed by a teasing voice. "I said, silly boy, stop thinking about your my Jie. Your Ling Ling Jie wants you too." Da Zhen quickly opened his eyes. He was startled to see Li Lingling, her hair loose, her oval face framed by bright, almond-shaped eyes, smiling at him as though she were about to devour him. She had lipstick smeared on her lips, a bold red that contrasted sharply with her otherwise simple appearance like a vampire. "Hey, Ling Jie, what are you doing here?" Da Zhen hurriedly let go of her and sat up. "Where's my Jie?" "Don't worry about my Jie, little heart," Li Lingling said, her hands suddenly grabbing his neck. "Da Zhen, why don't we team up? Live together. I promise I'll treat you better than my Jie. Want to try?" Da Zhen shoved her away. "Ling Jie, this isn't right. My Jie won't approve." "Little heart, if you agree, my Jie won't be a problem," Li Lingling persisted. "She's using you. I'm the one who truly cares about you." Da Zhen felt like he was being smothered by Li Lingling, like an octopus wrapping its tentacles around him. He pushed her arms away, trying to run. "Where's my Jie?" Li Lingling grabbed his arm from behind. "Silly Da Zhen, what are you shouting for? Come back." Just then, Liu Mei, with her hair up, holding a basin of water, walked out of the bathroom. "Silly Da Zhen, what are you shouting about? I just took a shower, and you're yelling." When Li Lingling saw Liu Mei approaching, she hurriedly put on her clothes and tried to flee, but she bumped straight into Liu Mei. Liu Mei immediately saw Li Lingling's disheveled appearance and knew exactly what had happened. Enraged, she threw the basin to the ground and slapped Li Lingling across the face. "Li Lingling, I leave for just a few minutes, and you can't resist climbing into my bed. Look at you, desperate, no man wants you, and now you're even eyeing my silly Da Zhen." Li Lingling didn't flinch at the slap. She quickly grabbed Liu Mei's hair in retaliation. "You slut! You're always flirting with other men at work. Don't think I don't know. You're out all day, acting loose, but you still have the nerve to hog Da General." Liu Mei, who also had a fiery temper, yelled as she grabbed Li Lingling's clothes and tore at them with all her strength. Li Lingling's shirt had been carelessly buttoned up, so a few buttons ripped off immediately. Liu Mei grabbed at her neck, leaving a few bloody marks. Li Lingling, still holding onto Liu Mei's hair, fought back by scratching Liu Mei's scalp. Liu Mei yelped in pain. Da Zhen, confused, watched the two women fight and rushed to intervene. He grabbed Li Lingling's hand and shouted, "Ling Jie, let go. You're pulling her hair out." Li Lingling didn't let go, even though Da Zhen was holding her hands. Liu Mei seized the opportunity and scratched Li Lingling's body, making her grit her teeth in pain. "Da Zhen, don't stop me. I'm going to beat this bitch today." Li Lingling yelled, still trying to break free and grab Liu Mei. Da Zhen was frantic. He spotted the bucket of urine by the door and kicked it under Li Lingling's feet. In the chaos, Li Lingling stepped right into it. The bucket shattered, and the stench of urine spread through the room. "You filthy bitch!" Li Lingling screamed as she stepped in the mess. "Liu Mei, you haven't heard the last of me." She rushed off to the bathroom to clean herself, cursing Liu Mei all the way. "Good riddance." Liu Mei shouted after her, pleased with herself. She walked back into the room. Da Zhen followed her inside. Liu Mei gave him a stern look. "It's all your fault. You're just a fool, and now you're attracting women. If you were normal, what would we do?" Before they could settle down, loud banging on the door interrupted them. Da Zhen groggily got up to answer, but Liu Mei quickly stopped him, calling out, "Who is it?" "You motherfucker. I'm your lord, dare to mess with my woman. Come out, you bitch." Their voice yelled from the other side of the door. Chapter 3, The Little Girl is Quite Fierce. Hu Dadong. Liu Mei was startled. Hu Dadong was someone from their construction site, and he was like a temporary husband to Li Lingling, also working at the site. It seemed they were from the same village, and he brought several people to work together. He had a fiery temper and had once tried to get her to live with him, but she had refused. Later, she heard that Hu Dadong had wanted to force her into it, but the men from his village had stopped him. Even now, thinking about it made her nervous. And now, this guy had come over, definitely to back Li Lingling up. Hu Dadong, what do you want? Liu Mei called out uneasily. Outside, numbers speak louder than words. Even though she and Da Zhen were together, dealing with some average thugs would be okay, but Hu Dadong had brought several men, and there was nothing she could do. Damn it, didn't you hear me? Get your asses out here. I'm counting to 3, if you don't come out, I'm kicking the door down. Liu Mei had no choice. She whispered to Da Zhen, go get the rolling pin, and when I tell you, hit him. Got it, my jie. Da Zhen obediently got up and grabbed the rolling pin from the corner. Liu Mei cautiously went to the door and opened it. As soon as she opened it, someone shoved her, and she staggered back several steps, almost sitting down on the floor. Damn it, opening the door so slowly. A burly man barged in, glaring at both of them. Ling Ling is my fellow villager, you didn't know? How dare you hit her? I think you two don't want to work here anymore. Liu Mei quickly said, Hu Dadong, let's talk reasonably. Da Zhen is mine. She acted shamelessly, sneaking into bed with him when I wasn't around. Is that my fault? Hu Dadong raised an eyebrow. Damn it, you're all adults, what's the big deal? Besides, he's a fool, why do you care about him? Liu Mei, I'll be direct with you. There are 2 choices. 1, you come with me, and let this fool go to Li Lingling. 2, I beat you both up today, and you won't be able to work in Yarn City ever again. Liu Mei was furious. Hu Dadong, don't bully me. Hu Dadong spat, bully you? Damn, I'm bullying you. Liu Mei, don't give me that high and mighty attitude. Before, I asked you to be with me, but you acted all proud. You wouldn't even get with a fool like this, making me a laughingstock. If it weren't for my villagers stopping me, I would had you already. Today, I'll tell you straight, death or life, choose. Liu Mei gritted her teeth. She was a woman with a temper after all. What kind of woman would be brave enough to fend for herself these days? Pushed to the limit, she said, I'll tell you this, I don't choose either. Hu Dadong laughed angrily, charging at her and slapping her in the face. Good, you bitch, I'll teach you a lesson. Liu Mei was on guard, quickly taking 2 steps back and shouting, Da Zhen, hit him. Da Zhen tightly gripped the rolling pin, his eyes fixed on Hu Dadong. As soon as he heard Liu Mei shout, he lunged forward, smashing the rolling pin down on Hu Dadong's head. Hu Dadong was fast, though, and he grabbed the rolling pin in one swift move. With a punch, he swung it at Da Zhen's face. Liu Mei, not to be outdone, showed her fierce northern woman side, rushing forward and scratching Hu Dadong's face. In pain, Hu Dadong kicked Liu Mei in the stomach, and she fell to the ground with a scream of agony. Da Zhen, now furious, shouted, you dare hit my jie. He released the rolling pin and grabbed Hu Dadong by the neck with both hands. The grip was so tight that Hu Dadong couldn't breathe. Looking at Da Zhen's red eyes, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of fear. This fool was deadly serious. He quickly backed away, trying to drag Da Zhen, but as he did, he swung the rolling pin toward Da Zhen's head. Da Zhen seemed to gain strength. He shoved Hu Dadong back, slamming his back against the wall with a forceful thud. The rolling pin missed his head, landing on Da Zhen's shoulder. While not seriously injured, it still left a mark. Da Zhen pushed harder, repeatedly smashing Hu Dadong against the wall with such force that the wall shook. It didn't take long before blood started trickling down Hu Dadong's head. Liu Mei, seeing this, was worried they might kill him, and quickly shouted, Da Zhen, stop. Hearing her, Da Zhen reluctantly let go. Hu Dadong, dazed, cupped his head and glared at them viciously. Good, Liu Mei, you just wait for it, he yelled, his eyes filled with rage. Glancing at Da Zhen, he seemed to realize that this fool might not hesitate to kill him, so he turned and ran out the door. Liu Mei chased to the door and saw Hu Dadong already disappearing down the stairs. She breathed a sigh of relief and quickly shut the door, looking at Da Zhen's hands, still covered in blood, and scolded, you really don't think about things, if you killed him, we'd be in prison. Da Zhen grinned, heh, I don't care, as long as he hits my jie, it's not okay. Liu Mei couldn't help but soften. Even though he was a fool, his loyalty to her was pure. Seriously, next time when I tell you to fight, don't aim for the head. Someone could die. Go wash your hands properly in the bathroom, she said, shaking her head. Okay. Da Zhen agreed, running off to wash the blood off his hands. When he returned, Liu Mei had already cleaned up. There were still blood stains on the wall that wouldn't come off. Now we ve pissed off Hu Dadong. Things are going to be difficult from now on. Liu Mei muttered. Da Zhen chuckled, I'm not afraid. If he wants to fight, I'll fight him. Liu Mei sighed, forget it, I'm not afraid either. I'm not someone to back down. Let us just get it over with. Da Zhen, ever the simpleton, scratched his head and said, my Jia, I'm hungry. Liu Mei glared at him. Eat, eat, eat. That's all you think about. Use your brain once in a while. She pulled out 2 pieces of peach crisps from the cupboard and handed them to him. Eat quickly, then go to sleep. We have to work again tomorrow. Da Zhen devoured the crisps in a few bites, drank some water, and before long, he was snoring. Liu Mei watched the foolish, yet handsome man beside her, feeling both frustrated and a little envious. She thought, if only she didn't have to worry about anything. The next morning, they both woke up late, almost missing work. After hastily washing their faces, they rushed to the construction site. The construction site was near the village, a large factory. Both Da Zhen and Liu Mei were small workers, tasked with carrying bricks and mixing cement. When they arrived, they saw Hu Dadong walking out of the temporary building, his head wrapped in a bandage. He glared at them fiercely. Liu Mei, this isn't over. Liu Mei knew Hu Dadong had several fellow villagers here, and if things escalated, they'd be at a disadvantage. She pulled Da Zhen aside and quickly walked away. Hey, Liu Mei, even at work you can't let go of him, one of the female workers teased, laughing. Da Zhen is young and strong, no wonder you look so good now, you've got a lot more here, she added, eyeing his chest. Go away. Liu Mei snapped. If you have the guts, go find someone else. Another male worker laughed, is there enough men here? If you want me, I'm just as good as this fool. Get lost, you're not even as tall as me. Liu Mei retorted. One of the women, clearly impressed by Da Zhen's size, couldn't resist reaching out to touch his chest. Liu Mei, protective as ever, quickly pulled Da Zhen behind her. What are you doing? Oh, I didn't want anything, just a little touch, what's the big deal, the woman pouted as she walked away. After a long day of work in the scorching heat, they finally finished. The heat was unbearable, and the site shut down at 11 a.m. to prevent anyone from passing out. Work resumed around 3 p.m. when the sun was slightly weaker, and they worked until 9 p.m. Both earned about 25 yuan, equal to what a skilled worker would make in a day. My Jie, didn't we say we were going to eat wontons yesterday? Da Zhen reminded her as they walked off the site. Eat, eat, eat. You only think about food. Hu Dadong is going to catch up with you, and then. Chapter 4, you won't have a good end. When Liu Mei heard this, she realized they couldn't keep running forever. If they ran today, they could run tomorrow, but what about the day after? On a construction site, how could they keep avoiding each other? If they had already been paid, they could leave, but payment was still a ways off. Liu Mei gritted her teeth, picked up a brick from the ground, and handed it to Da General. She turned to face the group and shouted, if you want to reason with me, come over. If you don't, I'll fight you, and you won't get away easy. You're quite fierce for a woman. One of them laughed. What do you think? We northern women aren't so soft. Liu Mei shot back, her northern pride evident. The group closed in, still making fun of her. Hu Dadong looked at Liu Mei with a dark expression. Liu Mei, you think you can take us on with just a brick? I'll give you one last chance. If you agree to be with me, I'll forget yesterday's business. Otherwise, we're not done. Let us see how long you can stay in Yancheng. Whether I stay or not is up to me. I came out here to make a living and I'll fight you if I have to. I'll never be with you. Liu Mei shouted defiantly. An older man in his 50s, standing next to Hu Dadong, tried to mediate. Liu Mei, we're all just trying to survive. You're a woman out here, it's not easy. At least Hu Dadong is a normal man, and he has some honor. If you were with him, you wouldn't lose out. He's a skilled worker, his pay is good, he'd take care of you. It's much better than being with a fool like Da Zhen. Yeah, Liu Mei. You can trust us. If you're with Dadong, we'll all be your backing. No one will dare bully you. Liu Mei sneered. Bullshit. I know exactly what you are. Hu Dadong, don't think I don't know how you beat your wife and drink all day. Even your son doesn't he recognize you? Why the hell would I be with you and take your beating? Hu Dadong's face turned red with anger. Shut your mouth, Liu Mei. This is the last time I ask you. Are you coming with me, or not? I'm not. Liu Mei's voice was resolute. And Da Zhen is a fool, so if you hit us, just know if you kill someone, you won't be held accountable. You can come at us if you have the guts. Fine, I'm not scared of you. Let us see who wins. Hu Dadong pulled out a steel rod from his pants and charged toward them. Dadong, take it easy, we don't want trouble. The older man cautioned, but still followed, his pace quickening. Da Zhen, hit him. Liu Mei screamed. Da Zhen rushed forward, brick in hand. The fight was messy, none of them had any real fighting skills, everything was based on instinct. Hu Dadong swung the steel rod and hit Da Zhen's arm, causing him to drop the brick. Despite the pain, Da Zhen lunged forward and punched Hu Dadong in the face. Hu Dadong grunted, blood pouring from his nose and eyes. He swung the steel rod with all his might, striking Da Zhen. Before Da Zhen could land another punch, the older man kicked him in the chest. Da Zhen fell to the ground, dazed, and as the older man charged at him to kick again, Da Zhen grabbed his leg and rolled, knocking the man to the ground. But more people rushed in, kicking Da Zhen to the ground. Hu Dadong scrambled to his feet, picking up the steel rod and striking Da Zhen's back twice. The pain made Da Zhen scream. Liu Mei rushed forward to intervene, but the older man kicked her down with one swift motion, and she couldn't get up. My jie! Da Zhen screamed, his fury taking over. Ignoring the pain, he grabbed one of the men's legs and yanked him down, then found something hard in his hand. He raised it high and smashed it into the man's forehead. Bang! The man screamed, blood pouring from his forehead and face. Before he could react, Da Zhen struck again. 2 more hits and the man lay motionless on the ground. Dadong! The others cried in panic, rushing over to Da Zhen to kick him aside. They helped Hu Dadong up, but when they checked his pulse, they saw his eyes were closed. Shit! Something's gone wrong. Quick, we need to take him to the hospital. The group hurried to lift Hu Dadong and carry him outside. Liu Mei, terrified, scrambled to her feet and grabbed Da Zhen's arm, pulling him away. Don't run, you can't escape. You can't run away from this. Forget them, let us get Dadong to the hospital. One of the men shouted as they ran off. Liu Mei hurried Da Zhen back to their place, packing things quickly, muttering angrily. Da Zhen, I just told you last night, don't hit people in the head. Now look what you've done. You hit Hu Dadong in the head, just hope he's okay. Otherwise, I'm going to spend my best years in prison with you. They hit you? Da Zhen scratched his head, confused. They didn't kill me. Besides, a lot of people bully me. Are you going to kill every one of them? Liu Mei snapped back, but secretly felt warm in her heart. At least there was someone who cared for her. Still, Da Zhen stood there, looking confused. Liu Mei couldn't help but shout, what are you standing around for? Pack your things already. Da Zhen scratched his head again. My jie, why are we packing? Liu Mei was almost speechless in frustration. Run. You've hit someone in the head. If something happens, do you think we'll just sit here and wait for prison? Even if nothing happens, when Hu Dadong comes back, will he let us live peacefully? No more wasting time. Hurry. Oh, Da Zhen said, and immediately started helping. He packed all their things, pots, pans, whatever could be carried. After 10 minutes, they had everything packed. Da Zhen carried 2 big bags, while Liu Mei followed with 2 small ones. As they headed out, they ran into Wang Anfu, their landlord, a man in his 40s with a bald spot. He saw them with their large bags and immediately questioned them. What's going on? Are you guys moving out? Wang Anfu asked, looking suspicious. We have an emergency, Liu Mei explained quickly. An emergency? And you didn't tell me. Did you break something in my house and plan to run away? Wang Anfu eyed them suspiciously. Of course not. Liu Mei smiled, though her mind raced. My big brother is ill, and it's serious. I have to leave right away. I want to ask for the deposit back, but I need to go quickly. When Wang Anfu heard that she wouldn't be asking for the deposit back, he felt a bit better. But he still raised an eyebrow. "You're in such a hurry." "Fine, but come back and let me check the place. I need to make sure you didn't damage anything." Liu Mei had no choice but to go back with him. Once inside, Wang Anfu began inspecting the place thoroughly, using the flashlight on his phone to check every corner. "This is damaged. You see this crack? You'll have to pay for this 30 yuan. And this chair, look at the leg, it's cracked. That'll be 20 yuan. He continued to list the minor damages. Liu Mei's patience ran out, and she snapped, "Enough. If you're going to count damages, let us do the math. I have over a month's rent left, and my deposit too, which adds up to over 1,000. I'll pay for the damages and leave. Just give me my deposit back." Wang Anfu frowned. "But we have a contract. You're supposed to stay for at least 3 months. How can I return your money now? The rent can't be returned, but the deposit should be, right?" Liu Mei tried to argue. Before she could say anything else, they heard footsteps from behind. She turned around and nearly collapsed in fear. Grabbing Da Zhen's arm, she managed to stay on her feet. Behind them were 2 police officers. "It's over," Liu Mei thought, horrified. "Hu Dadong must have gotten into trouble, and now the police are here to arrest us." "Are you Liu Mei and Da Zhen?" one of the officers asked. The officers immediately knew who they were from their demeanor and asked in a professional tone. "Looks like you two are trying to run away, huh?" "He asked Liu Mei, and he asked Da General, they are the ones." Wang Anfu shouted, "It's them. They tried to run away. Good thing I stopped them." The officers turned to them. "We've received a report that you two deliberately injured someone. Come with us to the station." Chapter 5, Foolish Jen's mother is a high-ranking official? Liu Mei forced herself to ask, "Officer, who filed the report?" "We're innocent. We didn't intentionally hurt anyone. They attacked first, we were just defending ourselves, you can't arrest us." Da Zhen supported Liu Mei, looking at the 2 officers seriously, and nodded, "Hao Dadong hit my sister Mei, so I hit him back." The 2 officers, impatient, replied, "The report was filed by Hao Dadong. Whatever happened, you can explain at the station, just come with us." "Hao Dadong." Liu Mei quickly caught onto the key detail. "So you're saying Hao Dadong isn't he dead?" "He's fine, just a head injury, a minor concussion." Hearing that Hao Dadong wasn't he dead, Liu Mei immediately regained her composure. "He was still alive, how bad could it be? Worst case scenario, they would just pay a fine." Her mind calmed, thinking, it's no big deal. If Hao Dadong and his people want revenge, I'll just leave Yancheng and never work there again. Following the officers to the nearby police station, they were both placed in separate interrogation rooms. Da Zhen sat on a chair, facing the officers' questions. He repeated the same few lines, "They hit my jie, so I hit him back. I don't know, I listened to my jie." The officers saw that he was a simpleton, so they didn't press him much and placed him in the holding cell. Meanwhile, Liu Mei was called to face Hao Dadong. She protested vehemently, claiming that Hao Dadong had been harassing her, and now he was trying to take revenge by reporting her. But Hao Dadong and his fellow villagers insisted that it was Liu Mei who had a conflict with Li Lingling, and Hao Dadong had gone to mediate. Instead of backing down, Liu Mei ordered Da Zhen to attack, injuring Hao Dadong. Hao Dadong, unable to defeat her, had called his men to confront Liu Mei, but she used Da Zhen, claiming he was an idiot and wouldn't face consequences even for killing someone. She instructed Da Zhen to strike with a brick, almost killing Hao Dadong. Furious, Liu Mei cursed, "You bunch of shameless people. You bully a woman and a fool, and then you slander me. You won't have a good death." Hao Dadong and his group, who were just simple farmers, acted innocent and naive. Hao Dadong said, "Liu Mei, I know you like me, you're from another place and want someone to lean on, but I already have a family. I can't be with you, and you can't resort to violence just because I turned you down. You're full of crap, Hao Dadong. How dare you say that?" Liu Mei yelled back. "Liu Mei, we're all just workers trying to make a living. We understand you're afraid of being bullied, but Hao Dadong really has a family. You can't just keep looking for trouble just because he rejected you." Liu Mei was seething with anger as they took turns speaking. She couldn't argue back against so many people. Just as she was about to explode, a beautiful woman in dark blue police uniform walked in, followed by several officers. The middle-aged officer frowned and scolded. What's going on here? Do you think this is a market? Stop the noise. Xiao Li, didn't anyone teach you how to question people? This is a disgrace to our station. Xiao Li, the officer being scolded, quickly stood up and responded, yes, Director Wu, I'll be more careful. The beautiful female officer smiled, Director Wu, we've all worked our way up from the bottom. It's normal for things like this to happen, no need to blame Xiao Li. She then turned to Xiao Li, so what's going on? Xiao Li quickly reported, it's a fight that led to injury. Hao Dadong and his group say Liu Mei wanted to be with Hao Dadong, but he refused. Liu Mei held a grudge and kept causing trouble. Yesterday, she bullied their fellow villager Li Lingling, who got upset and called Hao Dadong for help. But Liu Mei ordered Da Zhen, the fool, to attack and injure them. Hao Dadong and his men went to confront them again, and Liu Mei used Da Zhen, saying he was an idiot and wouldn't face any consequences. She had Da Zhen hit him with a brick, causing a concussion. The female officer nodded. What does the other side say? Liu Mei says Li Lingling started it, and Hao Dadong was helping her. She says she had no choice but to have Da Zhen defend her. She also claims Hao Dadong has liked her for a long time and rejected her, so she held a grudge. The female officer nodded. And what do you think? Xiao Li scratched his head, unable to provide an answer. It's one side says this, the other side says that, and there's no evidence. It's hard to make a judgment. The female officer smiled, this is easy to resolve. Hao Dadong, tell me the exact details, not just talk, act it out. It was clear to Hao Dadong that this female officer was the superior, and he felt a bit intimidated. After a moment of hesitation, he described the situation and acted it out. Then Liu Mei was asked to do the same. Once they were done, the female officer smiled, now it's much easier. Let us call that fool over and have him act it out. From the time the incident happened to the time they were arrested, it only took about 20 minutes. It's hard for a fool to come up with a consistent story or act it out convincingly. Let us see if his version matches. Xiao Li hurried to get Da Zhen and had him come in to perform the scene. His actions matched Liu Mei's account almost exactly. The female officer looked at Da Zhen, who was clumsily acting it out, and had a vague sense of familiarity, but couldn't quite place him. After Da Zhen finished, Hao Dadong looked on nervously. No, this isn't right. They've clearly coordinated this. Don't be fooled by him being a fool, he is actually quite crafty. The female officer smiled. You don't have to agree, but let us call Li Lingling. If her account matches the others, we'll know. Hao Dadong grew anxious at the mention of Li Lingling's name. His group had made arrangements, but they hadn't had time to inform Li Lingling. If she was questioned, it would expose their plan. Actually, it's not that serious. It's just a mutual fight. You guys lost, and you want some compensation. That's normal, right? The female officer said. Then, her expression darkened. But if you're making up lies for compensation, or intentionally slandering others, it's a different matter. If you guys falsify evidence, that's a criminal offense. You could face jail time. Once it's on record, your family and children will be affected, and they may never get a government job or attend many universities. You'll ruin your lives. Hearing this, the group of farmers began to panic. They had stuck together for support, but didn't want their children's futures ruined over this. They knew their kids would resent them for the rest of their lives if they messed this up. One of the older men spoke up, Officer, we didn't mean any harm. It happened as they said. Hao Dadong got his head injured, and we just thought we should ask for some compensation. We didn't mean to slander anyone. As soon as one of them spoke, the others hurriedly followed suit. Yes, that's exactly it, officer. Please, don't put this on record. My eldest son is about to take the college entrance exam, it can't affect his future. Seeing that they were all caving in, the female officer smiled slightly and glanced at Xiao Li. Go ahead and get a full statement, let us go. After the interrogation, the police chief, Li Dekui, chuckled, Director Du really knows how to handle this. She had the fool acted out, breaking their mental defenses, and then used pressure to make them confess. Her methods are top-notch. Director Du smiled. I haven't been in the field for a while. It's nostalgic. I hope I didn't interfere with your work too much. Not at all. Your approach has given us a great example to follow. We'll learn from you. Li Dequi flattered her. By the way, what's that fool's name? I feel like I've seen him somewhere, the female officer asked. The fool? Isn't he his name Da Gen? Li Dequi replied. No, I mean his full name, she clarified. Full name? Li Dequi looked around, and one officer rushed to check. I'll look it up. Li Dequi laughed, we'd better check thoroughly. You've got sharp eyes, Director Du, you might have recognized a wanted criminal. Director Du chuckled, I don't think so, just that his face seems familiar. Especially his eyebrows and eyes, but I just can't remember where I've seen him before. Chapter 6, Don't Collapse the Bed. The situation was cleared up. It was Hu Dadong and the others who had lied and falsely accused them. Liu Mei was afraid of their retaliation and didn't he dare to pursue the matter. Hu Dadong, fearing the same, didn't he dare to demand compensation. In the end, both parties reached a settlement. By the time Liu Mei and Da Gen left the police station, it was already 11:30 p.m. Really, we're lucky we met someone competent. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to explain ourselves. Liu Mei said, holding on to Da Gen as they walked out of the station. She glanced back at Hu Dadong and the others, who had also just come out, feeling uneasy. She quickly urged Da Gen to walk faster. I think we should go back to my hometown. Hu Dadong lost so much, he wouldn't just let it go. We've had good luck this time, you didn't kill anyone, and we met a good cop. But next time, we might not be so lucky. I'll follow my JS advice. Da Gen grinned, his expression simple and trusting. Following me is fine, but you also need a plan. Liu Mei snorted. Let us be cautious on the way, in case Hu Dadong and his crew are tailing us. Da Gen had no objections and followed her lead. After walking a few steps, Liu Mei suddenly stopped and muttered bitterly, it's frustrating. I came all the way to the south to find work, and now we're leaving like this. It just feels wrong. Da Gen looked at her, confused, as she stomped her foot and continued, forget it. The police already said we were in the right, so what's there to be afraid of? If Hu Dadong comes after us, we can just move to a different place. Guangzhou is so big, how could he find us? With that, she led Da Gen back to the city village. When they arrived, the landlord, Wang Anfu, immediately blocked their way, saying they couldn't go back to their room. No matter what they said, he insisted they had already checked out and that a new tenant was moving in tonight. Liu Mei was furious and had a big argument with Wang Anfu, but in the end, she could only leave with Da Gen. What should we do now? Liu Mei asked, holding 2 packages, looking worried. It had taken her 2 months to come out here, but now she didn't dare to go back to the construction site, afraid of running into Hu Dadong. She hadn't made a penny, and now she was losing money on rent and food. Going back now meant not only losing face but also feeling unwilling. As they walked, Liu Mei noticed a sign outside a KTV advertising for security guards. The salary was 9,000 renminbi per month, plus commissions for good performance. Da Gen, look at this. A security guard gets 9,000 a month. Liu Mei stared wide-eyed at the job posting, not believing it. It even includes food and accommodation. Where can you find such a good job? Let us go. I'll take you to apply. Da Gen stared at her blankly as she dragged him into the KTV and led him to the security room. Inside, a young man with a buzz cut, muscular and good-looking, sat at a desk. Who are you looking for? We're here to apply for the security guard job. Liu Mei quickly explained. I saw the sign outside. We want to apply. Apply. The young man looked Da Gen up and down before pointing to the next room. The application is over there. Let me show you. They followed him to the next room, where a man was sitting at a computer. He quickly shut it down when they entered, cleared his throat, and asked, Xiao Long, what's up? Manager, they are here to apply. I brought them over. The manager looked at Liu Mei, his eyes flashing with interest. He straightened up, adjusting his glasses. Is it you who's applying to work with us? Liu Mei felt a chill from his gaze and quickly pulled Da Gen aside. No, it's not me. It's my brother. The manager, hearing this, seemed a bit disappointed. He glanced at Da Gen, who looked somewhat silly but still handsome in his own way. The manager thought Da Gen had a strong and rugged look, quite different from the usual pretty boys. Many wealthy women liked this type. What's his education level? Liu Mei immediately explained, Manager, my brother's brain was affected by a fever when he was little, so he's not all there. But he's obedient and hardworking. He'll do whatever you tell him. He'll make sure no bad guys get past him if you make him a security guard. Is he a fool? The manager furrowed his brow. Liu Mei quickly reassured him, no, he just doesn't have the sharpest mind, but he's good-natured and listens well. He's definitely no trouble. The manager thought for a moment. So what if he's a bit slow? It's all about looks here, not brains. He should be fine. All right, let us give him a trial run. But it's a 1-month probation, no salary. However, if anyone tips him, he can keep half. Liu Mei understood that Da Zhen was lucky to get the job, so she quickly thanked the manager. Thank you, manager. The manager didn't give up and asked, are you sure you're not interested in the job yourself? Liu Mei felt uncomfortable under his gaze and shook her head quickly. I'm not interested, I already have a job. Okay then. The manager sighed in disappointment. Xiao Long, take them to get their uniforms. Sure, manager. Xiao Long replied and led them out. Once outside, Xiao Long turned to Liu Mei and said, Sis, the office is inside. It's not really appropriate for you to go in. Okay. Liu Mei gave Da Zhen a few instructions, telling him to work hard and not to cause any trouble, then left. As soon as Liu Mei left, Xiao Long's enthusiasm faded. He didn't speak to Da Zhen and instead took him to change into his security uniform. He then sat down in the security room and started playing on his phone. Da Zhen sat beside him, watching him play, looking fascinated. Xiao Long shot him an annoyed look but couldn't stop him from following along. After a while, the intercom buzzed, all right, listen up, everyone. Get ready for action. Room 666. Xiao Long's face lit up. 666 room. That's a real rich lady. He quickly stripped off his uniform, turned to Da Zhen, and hesitated before calling out, what are you doing just standing there? Come on. Okay. Da Zhen hurried to follow him. Take off that uniform. Da Zhen quickly threw his uniform on a chair, revealing his muscular build as they hurried upstairs. The 666 room was a luxurious one, over 100 square meters, with a beautiful woman in her 30s lounging with her legs up, sipping red wine. Despite her aristocratic appearance, her eyes held a sharp, venomous gleam like a snake ready to strike. The lights in the room were dim, and Da Zhen stood in line with about 10 other good-looking young men, all different in height, build, and style but all quite attractive. The woman took a sip from her beer, and seeing no one else had arrived, she looked them over and said, Is that all? That's all. Everyone on duty today is here. Are you satisfied? She didn't answer right away but pointed to a few men, saying, You, and you, oh, this one looks good. Her eyes stopped on Da Zhen, and she giggled. New guy, huh? The head waiter nodded quickly, yes, he just arrived this afternoon. Okay, keep him. The woman smiled, her eyes full of amusement. The head waiter leaned closer and whispered, Madam, he's a good guy, but he's a bit slow. He had a fever as a child, and it affected his brain. But he's obedient and looks good. The woman seemed amused. So what? I've seen all kinds of men. They all listen to me. Get the others out, she snapped. After everyone else left, the woman looked at the remaining men with disdain. She took out a wad of cash and slapped it on the table. I like straightforward people. Today's game is about drinking. Whoever can drink more than me, the money is his, and the man is mine. The remaining men cheered, and one of them, muscular and confident, said, Madam, I didn't believe the rumors about your generosity, but now I see you're not only generous, but also bold. She smiled coldly and ordered, You all know the rules, right? We do. We'll play, and whoever is still standing at the end gets to leave with you. Good. Then let us get the drinks. With a wave, a few cases of alcohol were brought in. Da Zhen didn't know what to do, so he just followed along, drinking whenever others did. Soon, some of the men began to fall out, unable to keep up. Har! Weaklings! Can't handle even one bottle. Get them out! The woman yelled, leaping into Xiao Long's arms. Xiao Long twirled her around with a smile. As the night went on, Da Jen continued to drink, and the room grew emptier, until it was just him and the woman left. She pulled him closer, and he followed along, unsure of what was happening but too drunk to care. Chapter 7. See If I Dare. Da Jen looked at the other person's delicate and cold face, as well as the strong perfume on her body. For some reason, he instinctively felt disgusted and pushed her away. Mrs. Lin was stunned, but then she didn't get angry. Instead, she laughed and pointed at him. You have a personality, what's your name? My name is Da Jen. Da Jen. Har, okay, silly Da Jen, has your manager ever taught you to listen to the guests? Da Jen thought for a while, shook his head and said, no, but Sister Mai told me to be obedient. I'm a guest, don't you have to listen to me? He thought for a while, yes. Come here. Da Jen walked over, and Mrs. Lin hugged his neck. Da Jen looked at this action and suddenly thought of the ridiculous thing he did with that woman he couldn't see clearly last night. He couldn't help but push the person away, got up from the sofa, and ran outside. Just try to walk away. Believe it or not, I will have someone drown you in the lake. Da Jen turned back blankly. What is drowning in the lake? Swimming. Mrs. Lin made him laugh. What a fool. He paused and sat on the sofa, picked up a bottle of drink and took a sip. Sinking in the lake means putting you in a sack and throwing you into the lake. Not only you, but also your sister Mai. That won't work. Then they will drown. Da Jen shook his head quickly. If you don't want your sister Mai to drown, listen to me. Mrs. Lin said proudly, pick me up, go out, get in the car, and go home. Da Jen shook his head. I don't like you, I don't want to hug you. Mrs. Lin said angrily, say it to me again, I will drown your sister Mai immediately. Da Jen was also angry, you dare. See if I dare. This woman never thought that she would touch Da Jen's reverse scale. Da Jen rushed over angrily and slapped Mrs. Lin in the face. I don't allow you to hurt Sister Mai. Otherwise I will beat you to death. Mrs. Lin was stunned. This idiot dared to hit her? She was beaten? Since he had money, no one dared to hit her. When she reacted, she went crazy in an instant and pounced on him with her teeth and claws. As a result, Da Jen slapped her in the face again and kicked her in the stomach. Mrs. Lin was in so much pain that she couldn't stand up. She knew she couldn't beat this fool, so she yelled outside, someone, come quickly. Da Jen panicked. He knew it was wrong to do this, but who told him to drown Sister Mai? Hearing Mrs. Lin calling for help, he rushed outside. If you dare to escape, I will kill you if I catch you. Mrs. Lin was lying on the ground in pain, holding her stomach and screaming. No one in the KTV noticed the movement here, so Da Jen ran out of the KTV smoothly. He didn't know where to run, but he remembered that Liu Mei turned right when she left, so he ran along that road. After running a few hundred meters, he saw a familiar figure walking towards him quickly. Sister Mai. On the other side, after Liu Mei left, she saw a small note in the city that was posted to recruit nannies to take care of the elderly with a monthly salary of 8,000 yuan. She happily called the number and the other party asked him to come over. The other party was an old man in his 60s. As soon as he saw him, he immediately agreed to the offer of 8,000 yuan a month without any discount. It's really easy to find a job in a big city. No wonder those people become rich after 2 years of working. It turns out that there are not only many jobs here, but also such high salaries. If I had known, I would never have worked on a construction site. After lunch, Liu Mei washed the dishes diligently, mopped the floor, and ran to the bathroom to wash clothes. Suddenly, he felt as if someone was looking at him. He turned his head and saw the old man grinning at him. She laughed awkwardly, always feeling that the old man's eyes looking at him were not right, but then she thought that the old man could be her grandfather, so she was probably overthinking. After finishing her work, she found that the old man had gone to sleep in the house, so she tiptoed back to her room and packed up the things she brought out. She was really tired that day, so she lay there in a daze and fell asleep soon. Suddenly, he heard the door open. She recognized that it was the old man. Her heart tightened. She opened her eyes suddenly, pushed the old man away, looked at him in panic and shouted, "Uncle, what are you doing?" The old man was not panicked at all. He smiled and said, "Ame, you are so beautiful." As he said that, his eyes boldly swept back and forth on her body. That look seemed to want to eat him. "Ame, I like you. I have a lot of pension. Let's live together. You fart." Liu Mei cursed, "Get away from me quickly, I won't do it for you." The old man stood up and approached her step by step, with a sinister smile on his wrinkled face. "Mei, you haven't had a man for so many years, don't you want one? I am a retired leader after all. My monthly salary is 20,000 or 30,000 yuan. I also have company dividends. Follow me." As he said that, the old man grabbed Liu Mei's arm. Liu Mei felt that although the old man was old, he was still very strong. He grabbed her arms and she couldn't move even against the wall. She felt panic and nausea, and struggled desperately. "Let me go, I'll call the police." The old man was not afraid at all, and smiled. "Call the police, I'm over 60, am I still afraid of this? Besides, I have someone in the bureau, if you follow me, I will be your backer in the future, and I guarantee you will have a good life." Liu Mei felt that the old man's face was almost touching hers, and she felt scared and panicked. She didn't know where the strength came from, and suddenly she touched something and hit it hard. The old man got off her with a cry, holding his head. She looked up and saw that she was holding a cane sweeping broom. She didn't care about anything else, and got up and ran outside. He opened the door and went out. He heard the old man's voice behind him. He was panicked. He never thought that he would encounter such a thing when he was looking for a good job. Liu Mei ran for a while and suddenly saw Daejin appear in front of her. She couldn't hold back the panic and grievance in her heart. She cried in his bed. "Sister Mei, what's wrong?" Daejin looked back anxiously. "Sister Mei, let's go quickly, someone is chasing me." Liu Mei raised her head with red eyes and asked, "What's wrong? Why are you shirtless?" "There was a stinky woman who wanted me to sleep with her. I beat her up, and those people are chasing me." "What?" Liu Mei thought of her high salary and said angrily, "So these high salaries are all from this way, liars, all liars." As she said, she was afraid that someone would catch up with her, so she hurriedly pulled Daejin to run towards the village in the city. Liu Mei was very familiar with the village in the city. She picked the remote roads and walked around them. She met a taxi that was about to get off work and asked someone to take them to the train station. She was afraid that Hu Dadong and his friends would not let her go, so she didn't even buy a ticket. She just followed the crowd and squeezed onto a train heading north, planning to find a way to go back at the next stop. There were a lot of people on the train. Not to mention the place to sit, there was not much room to stand. The two of them were carrying a lot of things. They stood for 3 hours and got off the train in a third-tier city. Daejin was okay. Liu Mei was so tired that she was very generous. After leaving the train station, she took him to a nearby noodle shop that was still open for a meal. They also knew that Daejin had no ID card, so he couldn't do anything, not even buy a ticket. Fortunately, ordinary buses don't need to scan their ID cards as long as they buy tickets after leaving the bus station. Liu Mei ran to the bus station and wrote down the departure time of the bus she wanted to take. The two of them waited at the nearest bus stop. Before dawn the next day, the long-distance bus really drove out of the station. The two got on the bus, bought tickets, and headed for their hometown. Du Wenjing had just gone to work in the morning when she received a message from the Mingyuan village police station saying that the person named Daejin had been checked and turned out to be an illegal resident, and no information about him was found. Du Wenjing didn't take this matter seriously and forgot about it all night, but this information reminded her of it again. She couldn't help but recall Daejin's appearance. She felt that she had seen this person somewhere, and he was a close person, but she couldn't remember which relative he was after thinking about it. She opened WeChat and flipped through the address book. When she saw the word master, her heart skipped a beat and she suddenly remembered where she had seen this person. "It's Master." She hurriedly opened the photo album and found the photo of Master's youngest son who was lost. She enlarged the face and compared it with the appearance of Daejin in her mind. The more she looked, the more she felt that they looked alike, especially the eyebrows and eyes, which were simply printed from the same mold. "Really alike, too much alike," she muttered, and couldn't help thinking of some things about Master in her mind. Her master is now a senior leader of the provincial party committee. He was originally from the public security system. After her husband died in the line of duty, the orphan and widow raised the child alone. More than a decade ago, in order to track down a large gang suspected of human trafficking, she temporarily left her 4-year-old youngest son at a relative's house. Instead, the human traffickers took revenge and kidnapped her youngest son. No one knew whether he was alive or dead for more than a decade. She quickly picked up the phone and called the Mingyuan village police station, "Hey, get me the photo of that guy called Dajan and send it to me." Then, she found another photo from her phone collection. It was a photo taken on paper. On it, a little boy of 4 or 5 years old was holding a string of candid whores. He looked cute and grinned at the front. His eyebrows and eyes were 70% similar to Dajan. Chapter 8 Back. Guangming City, Tushan County is a county next to the Yuxing Mountains. Half of the county is on the mountain and half is on the plain. Because of the underdeveloped transportation, 2 consecutive county leaders were arrested for corruption, and because the previous leaders carried out large-scale demolition and construction and borrowed a lot of debts, the economy of Tushan County, which was not very good to begin with, plummeted. The average salary of the whole county is not even half of that of the city. Finally back. At the entrance of Qianzhou village, a van stopped. Liu Mei and Dajan got out of the car and looked at the village in front of them and shouted happily. "Dajan, look at my hometown." Dajan smiled foolishly. "Good. Look at you." Liu Mei was happy to be home, and she didn't bother to argue with him, so she took him to the village quickly. "When you get to the village, tell anyone who asks you that you are my distant cousin, but don't say that I picked you up, do you hear me?" "Got it, Sister Mei." "Also, no matter who asks you, you can't say that you came back because you couldn't make it out there. It would be embarrassing if people knew about it, do you understand?" "Got it." As soon as I entered the village, I ran into 2 old people sitting at the door chatting. When I saw them, I exclaimed, "Liu Mei is back. Didn't you go to the south to work? It's not even the new year yet, why are you back?" "My mother said he was not feeling well, so I came back to see him." "Who is this? He looks pretty handsome." "It's the man you found in the south, right?" "Aunt, what are you talking about? This is my cousin's child. He got a fever and became stupid when he was young. My cousin is sick recently and no one is taking care of him at home. I asked him to come and stay with me for a while and help with the work in the fields." "Is that so? I said that this child is pretty, but his eyes look a little dull." "Okay, Aunt, let's go home first." Liu Mei's house is a big yard, with 3 bungalows in a row, and a kitchen next to the east house. The yard is big, more than 100 square meters, and there is a vegetable garden next to the corner of the wall. There is a frame inside, but nothing is planted inside now. "Dajan, what are you doing? Hurry up and pack your things." "Okay, Sister Mei." Dajan grinned and excitedly put away the things he brought back one by one. It was a hot day, and it was almost noon. Dajan was sweating from working, and was walking in the yard with his bare chest. Over there, Liu Mei couldn't stand the heat either. She simply put her things away and ran to take a shower. A curtain was pulled between the 2 walls between the east room and the kitchen. A large white barrel was placed on the roof of the kitchen. The water in the barrel was warm after being exposed to the sun for a day, not too cold. Dajan swept the ground in the yard, and sat at the door with a sweaty head fanning himself. "Dajan, I forgot to bring a towel, bring me one." Dajan agreed, ran to their house, took out a towel from the snakeskin bag, and ran over to hand it to him through the curtain. Liu Mei reached out to take it, and probably slipped, and she cried out, "Ouch," grabbed the curtain and sat on the ground. The curtain was only a steel wire pulling at both sides, so it couldn't withstand her pulling, and it fell down. Liu Mei sat on the ground in pain for a long time and couldn't get up. Dajan looked down and saw a large white patch. Liu Mei held her waist for several seconds before she breathed a breath, and said angrily, "Dajan, why don't you help me up?" Oh. Dajan hurriedly reached out and grabbed her arm, and pulled her up from the ground with force. Liu Mei saw that she was still staring at her. Her face couldn't help but blush, and she looked at him with a little secret joy. It seems that this idiot is not that stupid, and he still knows how to look at women. "What are you looking at, you big fool? It's not like I haven't given you a chance." "Sister Mei, why are you whiter than me?" Dajan stretched out his arm and said seriously, "Look, why am I so dark?" Liu Mei, who was still secretly happy, slapped him on the arm angrily. "You are such a fool, who wants to compare black and white with you, really?" With that, Liu Mei ran into their house with a towel. Dajan was stunned, not knowing why Liu Mei was suddenly angry again, scratching his head. It's really hard to guess a woman's mind. He found 2 iron wires from the kitchen and hung up the curtain again. Seeing Liu Mei come out after changing her clothes, she covered her stomach and shouted, "Sister Mei, I'm hungry. Eat, all you know is eating." Liu Mei was so angry that her skin was white and rosy, and the water droplets that had not been wiped clean were shining in the sun. At this moment, there was a knock on the door outside. Liu Mei opened the door. Liu Mei was startled when she heard the call and hurried to Daejin. Daejin, my parents-in-law are here, don't talk later, do you hear me? Well, but I'm hungry. Wait until my parents-in-law leave, I'll take you to eat. Okay. Seeing that Daejin agreed, Liu Mei went to open the door with confidence. A middle-aged farmer and a peasant woman came in. Liu Mei forced a smile. Dad, why are you here? Liu Mei's father-in-law was a farmer named Zhao Defu. He had a towel wrapped around his head like people in the 1960s and 1970s, and wore a vest and shorts. He was a little hunchbacked, and had a bag on his shoulder. Mother-in-law was also an authentic rural woman named Liu Sanqin. She was in her 50s. In the middle of summer, she seemed to be afraid of the cold, so she wore long-sleeved clothes, holding a plastic bag in her hand, and had a simple smile on her face. Zhao Defu entered the yard, took off the bag on his back, pulled off the towel on his head, pulled it off and wiped the sweat off his face, and said with a smile, I heard from your Aunt Zhao that you were back, so I came with your mother to see you. We were in the field. As soon as we entered the village and heard that you were back, your father ran back to the field and broke some corn for you. These are beans and cucumbers grown by our family. You just came back and there is nothing at home. Eat them first. Tomorrow I will go to the field and bring you some eggplants, green peppers and so on. Thank you, mother. Liu Mei hurriedly took the things from Liu Sanqin and shouted to Daejin, Daejin, what are you still doing? Hurry up and take the things to the kitchen. Oh. Daejin hurried over, picked up a bag of corn and vegetables and put them in the kitchen. Zhao Defu looked at Daejin in confusion. What is this? Oh, Dad, he is my cousin's cousin. He had a fever when he was a child and his brain was damaged. My cousin has been ill recently. I went to see her before I went home. She asked me to bring him back to live for a while. Is that so? Zhao Defu laughed. He is a poor man. We must take good care of him and not let him suffer. It will also make your cousin feel at ease. I know, Dad. You come in first. It's cool in the house. I'll go cook. Let's eat here at noon. No, there is leftover rice and vegetables from yesterday at home. We don't want to eat them rotten. Let's go back first. By the way, you should water the land. Tomorrow, let's go and water the land together. Okay, Dad. Liu Mei was worried that Daejin would reveal his true identity, so she didn't force him to stay and sent the two away. At noon, 7 or 8 corns were cooked, and Daejin ate 5 or 6 by himself. He was still not full, and he had some leftover peach cakes to satisfy himself. At night, Liu Mei lay on the bed, looking at the empty room around her, and felt empty inside. She returned to her hometown, and was afraid of gossip, so she didn't dare to ask Daejin to sleep with her. The two of them had been lying together for more than 2 months. Although nothing happened, they were used to sleeping together. Suddenly there was no one, and they were not used to it. Listening to Daejin, who couldn't sleep because of the heat outside, wandering around the house, she couldn't help but think of asking Daejin to see everything during the day. She felt hot inside and couldn't help but open the door and go out. Daejin, why don't you sleep here? Okay, Sister Mai. Daejin immediately went in happily and jumped onto the bed, which creaked. Be careful, don't collapse the bed. Liu Mei glared at him. Daejin rolled on the bed excitedly. Cool, Meijie, what is this? It can also blow cool air, so cool. This is an air conditioner, it blows cool air. Okay, go to bed. Okay. Daejin was busy all day and was exhausted. He couldn't sleep because of the heat before, but now with the air conditioner, he snored in less than a minute as soon as his head touched the pillow. Liu Mei lay next to him and felt that Daejin's heavy breathing with a stream of hot steam went straight into her chest. She tilted her head to look at Daejin's face. Needless to say, he was handsome, with clear lines and very tough. The more she looked at it, the more flustered she became. She couldn't help but push Daejin. Daejin, I want it. Daejin snorted, turned over, turned his butt towards her, and farted. Liu Mei fanned her nose speechlessly, feeling hot in her heart and couldn't sleep. She got up and wanted to take a shower. Turn on the water flows from his head to his body. He wiped his face and looked at his body, which was very white and plump. In the past, many men in the village wanted to be with him. Even Hu Dadong was fascinated by him when he went out, but he just couldn't be fascinated by this blockhead. He slept like a dead pig every day. She was furious and rubbed her face twice. Suddenly, someone covered her mouth from behind. She was so panicked that she couldn't stand. She struggled desperately twice, and the two fell to the ground together. Liu Mei, you are finally back. I miss you so much. You left me, an old man, and found a fool. If you follow me, I promise that you will walk sideways in the village in the future. Don't move, don't shout, you don't want people to know about us. Liu Mei didn't have time to think about these things. She was panicking, but the other party was too strong. No matter what, she was just a woman and couldn't compare to men in strength. Just then, a confused voice came over. Sister Mai, call me. Liu Mei grabbed the savior and turned her head desperately to shout. It was hard to make the other party loosen her palm a little, and shouted, Da Zhen, save me, get him away. Da Zhen was anxious when he heard it. He rushed up and grabbed the man's neck and lifted him up. He lifted him up with both hands and threw him to the ground. Ouch! The man's body was bent like a shrimp in pain and rolled on the ground. Dajin rushed forward and wanted to kick him twice, but Liu Mei stopped him. Dajin, don't hit me. Liu Mei said angrily. Zhao Jiafu, you came to my house in the middle of the night, and you still want. I tell you, we are not done with this matter. Zhao Jiafu struggled to get up from the ground, holding his waist in pain and scolding angrily. Liu Mei, you cheap bitch, you even like a fool, you pretend to be pure here. I tell you, you know my name Zhao Jiafu. If you want to stay in Qianzhou village in the future, you just follow me obediently, there will be nothing wrong with us. I don't care if you follow a fool, otherwise, you see if I will publicize you well, let everyone in Qianzhou village know what kind of character you are, stinky bitch. Liu Mei's face turned red with anger, rushed up and slapped him in the face. Zhao Jiafu, if you dare to go out and talk nonsense to me, I will beat you to death. When Dajin saw Liu Mei making a move, he hurried over and grabbed Zhao Jiafu's arm. He was already more than 1.8 meters tall and strong, and Zhao Jiafu was only about 1.73 meters tall, not as strong as him, so he grabbed his arm and twisted it behind his back, and screamed in pain. Let me go quickly. You idiot, you know who I am, ask who in this village dares to provoke me, you don't want to live. Dajin didn't care who he was, anyway, it was not okay to bully Liu Mei. He raised his fist and punched him twice on the head, making Zhao Jiafu's nose bleed and screaming. Dajin, stop hitting. Liu Mei was afraid that he would beat people up again without any care. This was his old nest, and if something happened again, there would be no place to escape. Dajin grinned and said, he cursed, I'll throw him into the toilet. He then dragged him to the toilet. Liu Mei followed closely and said, Zhao Jiafu, I'm telling you, my cousin is a fool, he doesn't know anything. I'll spare you if you promise me not to say anything nonsense, otherwise, he'll throw you into the toilet and drown you, and you'll die in vain. He's a fool and the police won't care. Zhao Jiafu stood up desperately, still refusing to give in. Kill me if you have the guts, otherwise I promise to spread the word about you, and then I'll see how you behave, and whether the Zhao family still wants you. Liu Mei listened and became anxious. Okay, Zhao Jiafu, you said it, Dajin, throw him into the toilet and drown him. When Dajin heard it, he quickly got into the toilet and pushed him to throw him into the toilet. The pit toilet in Liu Mei's house is still the old dry toilet, that is, there is a big vat underneath, and people squat on it to defecate. After a year, it can be taken out and used as fertilizer. In the 2 months since Liu Mei left, there is nothing new in it, and it is almost dry, but it is disgusting enough. Zhao Jiafu desperately grabbed Dajin's arm, and he was very panicked. If he was really thrown in, he would have no face to put on it, and he would never be able to stay in the village again. Dajin was merciless and shook his arms hard. Don't grab me, get down. As he said that, he pressed Zhao Jiafu's head hard with one hand. Zhao Jiafu felt that this idiot was serious with him, and he was panicked. Finally, he couldn't help shouting, I promise. Chapter 9. Just hold it in. When Liu Mei heard this, she hurriedly shouted, Da Zhen, pull him up. Oh! Da Zhen pulled him up by the collar, and Zhao Jiafu quickly shrank back and stayed away from the toilet. Liu Mei held up her phone and looked at him sideways. Zhao Jiafu, I recorded everything just now. If you dare to say anything wrong to me, I will immediately send it to the group of our village. If we are embarrassed, we will all be embarrassed together. And you secretly turned over my Zheqiang and wanted to rape me. If there is a fuss, I will send you to jail. Zhao Jiafu looked at Liu Mei resentfully. Okay, bitch, you can do it, let's wait and see. Don't talk nonsense to me, I'm not afraid of you. Liu Mei kicked him on the butt. Get out of here quickly, don't let me see you in the future. Zhao Jiafu glared at them fiercely and turned his head to walk out. Dajin turned around and said with a smile, Sister Mai, I'm hungry. You big fool, you only know how to eat all day, I've made you broke. Liu Mei glanced at him and suddenly saw Zhao Jiafu suddenly grab a brick from the toilet wall and smash it towards the back of Dajin's head. Dajin, be careful. It happened so suddenly that Liu Mei didn't react. She only had time to shout, and Zhao Jiafu's brick hit Dajin's back of the head hard. Dajin felt a buzzing in his head, his eyes went black, and he fell forward. Liu Mei hurriedly supported him and shouted in panic, Dajin, damn it, Zhao Jiafu smashed him to death. Zhao Jiafu was almost pushed into the toilet by a big fool, and he was so hot-headed that he did it cruelly without thinking about the consequences. When he heard Liu Mei say that someone was smashed to death, he was going to make a fuss. He would pay for the fool's life. He threw the brick aside in a panic, staring at Dajin sliding down Liu Mei's body to the ground with wide eyes, and shouted in panic, It's not me, it's not me. As he said that, he turned around and rushed to the door, unbolted and ran away. Liu Mei hurriedly ran into their house and called 120, then found a piece of cloth to press the wound, but blood kept coming out, and soon the cloth was wet. More than 10 minutes later, the ambulance came and took the people to the county hospital. Du Wenjing sat at home, holding two pictures in his hand. One was a photo taken when Dajin was arrested at Mingyuan Village Police Station, and the other was a portrait of a person simulated by AI. This AI portrait was created by someone he asked to contact an expert in this field, based on the photo of his master's child when he was a child in his mobile phone, to simulate his appearance when he grew up. The photo of Dajin was not much different from this AI simulated portrait, especially the outline and eyebrows, which were exactly the same. Too much alike, so much alike. Du Wenjing's heart was pounding. When the master's son was 4 years old, he was abducted by human traffickers. They have been looking for him for more than 10 years but still haven't found him. Could it be that this illegal person is actually the master's son? At this moment, the phone rang. He saw the name on the phone and answered it immediately. Li Dekui, how is your investigation going? Director Du, I have checked everything. Those two people are very cunning. After arriving at the village in the city, they walked around and avoided our Skynet. I asked someone to check their address information at the place they rented. After verification, the address they left for the landlord was a home address. Fake address. Yes, I checked the surveillance footage of that day based on the direction they might escape. They showed up at the train station, but the woman's address was not found at the train station. Ticket purchase information, they should have sneaked on the train, but I don't know which train they got on. Du Wenjing's face was serious. Li Dekui, I correct your wording, they are not fugitives, nor are they running away. I don't care what method you use, continue to investigate, and we must find their whereabouts. Okay, Director Du, I will do my best. After hanging up the phone, Du Wenjing frowned. She was just the deputy director of a branch, with too little power and few resources to mobilize. Now that the person has left here, it is not easy to find him. It is necessary to mobilize enough manpower to unravel the mystery and find the person. She hesitated for a while, picked up the phone and called the master. Dajin only felt a severe pain in the back of his head, his mind was fuzzy, and his ears were noisy and quiet. After a while of staring blankly, his mind was like a movie, and many scenes flashed by. Begging on the street, being beaten, working in a black coal mine, running away, being beaten, running away, being beaten, and running away again. Then it seemed like he saw a lot of people, cars flying in the sky, wars reported on TV, planes swimming in the water. After a while, he felt that his brain was better, and the feeling of a knife pulling his brain slowly disappeared. He opened his eyes and saw the white wall and the rack on the ceiling with a bottle hanging on it. He felt something pressing on his legs, looked down, and found Liu Mei sleeping at the foot of the bed, with a pair of arms pressing on his left leg. He didn't say anything, turned his head, and saw that the liquid in the bottle was gone, raised his hand and saw that the blood in the tube had flowed back. He grunted and raised his legs. Sister Mai, there is no medicine. Liu Mei, who was sleeping, woke up suddenly. When she looked at the infusion device, half of the blood had flowed back. She screamed in fear and rushed out and shouted, Nurse, nurse, there is no liquid. Half a minute later, the nurse came with the liquid to replace it. Da Zhen lay there, and the back of his head still hurt badly when he moved. Da Jen, you are awake. Is there anything wrong? I am awake, Sister Mai, it's nothing, just the back of my head hurts badly. The wound hasn't healed yet, it must hurt. You scared me to death, I thought you were dead. Liu Mei looked at him with red eyes. I'm lucky, I won't die. Dajin forced a smile, where's Zhao Jiafu? That bastard. Liu Mei cursed angrily, this guy who gave birth to a child without an anus, probably feared that he would take your life if you died, so he ran away in fear. I called the police, but there's no response yet. Oh. He looked outside, it was still dark. Sister Mai, how long did I sleep? Not more, not less, just a whole day. It's been a day, and I didn't even feel it. He supported himself on the bed and sat up. You stayed here for a day. Otherwise, I'll just leave you here and go back. Liu Mei glared at him. You have to thank me, if it weren't for me, you would have died a long time ago. Let me tell you, your hospitalization cost me more than 10,000 yuan this time. I don't even want to spend my little money, so you have to pay me back later. No, Dajin, you. Liu Mei looked at him with suspicion and surprise. No, Dajin, are you okay? Except for the headache, everything else is fine, what's wrong? You, why are you talking so much today? You used to be so quiet, are you not stupid anymore? Looking at Liu Mei's surprised look, Da Jen laughed, I'm lucky, I don't know why, I suddenly woke up, I'm not stupid anymore. What's going on, are you really not stupid anymore? I heard that people will have a moment of clarity when they are about to die. A fool suddenly woke up before he died, and then gave him my mother chopped a room full of firewood, visited all the relatives who had not been around, and bought gifts for the families of several brothers. After doing all this, she died. You want to be like this too? Da Jen glared at him unhappily, can't you expect me to be better? You are not happy that I am not stupid anymore. You must kill me. Liu Mei exclaimed in surprise, are you really not stupid anymore? Aren't you going to die and have a last burst of light? I am not doing well, how can I have a last burst of light? Da Jen laughed helplessly. Then can you remember who you are and what you used to do? Dajin frowned and thought for a while. I remember that I was supervised by someone to ask for money since I was a child. If I asked for too little, I would be beaten. Later, the inspection was strict and I couldn't ask for money, so I went to the illegal coal mine to dig coal. I escaped several times and was caught by someone every time. Later, they had an internal fight and I ran away. When I ran away, I was beaten. I can't remember what happened later. Then you don't remember your parents and your name. Dajin smiled bitterly, I don't remember. What a poor child, it's okay, even if you don't have a father or a mother, you still have me. Liu Mei hugged his head distressedly. Dajin felt that his nose was submerged in a turbulent sea, and he couldn't breathe. He struggled twice, Sister Mai, I can't breathe. Liu Mei reacted and hurriedly let go. Sister Mai, do you feel uncomfortable that I'm not dead? Dajin took a few breaths. Look at what you said, I can't wait to love you, right? Liu Mei laughed dryly, I'm telling you, don't think you can be free just because you're awake. I supported you in Yancheng before, and this time, you spent tens of thousands of yuan on me. I'm telling you, if you can't pay it back, don't even think about leaving. It can be reimbursed. You're an illegal resident. I asked you to be hospitalized because of my connections. You still want to be reimbursed, what the hell? Dajin didn't think about this problem. Now that he's awake and a normal person, he must live a normal life in the future. He doesn't even have an identity and can't do anything. This is a big problem. He must find a way to solve this problem. After chatting for a while, Liu Mei didn't rest for 2 days. She couldn't bear it and fell asleep on the corner of the bed. Dajin was unconscious for a whole day and was not sleepy at this moment. He lay there staring at the ceiling in a daze. At present, the two most important things are identity, which must be solved, otherwise he will not be able to do anything in the future. One is to make money. It can be seen that Liu Mei is not rich. She is a widow. Although she is still in the home of her dead husband, her parents-in-law are also authentic old farmers. They have saved a little money with great difficulty, and they are very stingy when spending it. Now he has no connections and no money. Everything has to start from scratch. It is not easy to solve these two problems. After thinking for a long time, he slowly formed a rudimentary idea of making money in his mind. He fell asleep in a daze. The next morning, he was going to be discharged from the hospital. It was just a hit on the head. There was no other problem. He just took some anti-inflammatory drugs and went home to rest for a few days. There was no need to spend that much money in the hospital. After leaving the hospital, Liu Mei was afraid that he could not eat, and wanted to take a taxi. Da Zhen stopped her. It would cost at least 40 or 50 yuan to take a taxi back, and it would only take 2 hours to walk back. There was no need to spend that money. However, imagination is beautiful, but it is not the same when walking. Their village is at the foot of the mountain. The main road at the beginning is fine, but it becomes a dirt road later. It is not only bumpy, but also sometimes high and sometimes low. It took 2.5 hours to walk back. It was noon. As soon as they entered the house, they fell on the bed, panting. "I'll go cook." Liu Mei supported herself and got up. "Tonight, let's cool down first." "Okay." Liu Mei lay down and her body just pressed against him. In the past, Dajan's mind was completely unconscious. He was soft and could still smell the fragrance of shampoo at the tip of his nose. His heart beat twice and he quickly moved to the side. "Oh, you are still shy. You used to hug me to sleep every day, but now you don't touch me." Chapter 10. I didn't hook you. Dajan was panicking. "Sister Mai, don't do this, I want to go to the bathroom." As he said that, Dajan hurriedly pulled Liu Mei's hand away and turned around to rush out. Liu Mei's almond-shaped eyes seemed to be dripping with water as she watched him running away. "HMPH, I didn't despise you even if you were a fool before, and now you are sober, I will never let you go." Dajan ran to the bathroom and secretly looked back. In his heart, he silently added another thing to the 2 things he had to do in front of him, and quickly confirmed his relationship with Liu Mei. If he could get along, he would do it. If he couldn't, he would draw a clear line early and don't delay her. "Dajan, why haven't you finished yet? I'll go outside and take a look." He didn't dare to go in again, because by then there would be nothing left of him. He opened the gate and went out, and met a woman dressed in fancy clothes coming towards him. "Hey, isn't this Liu Mei's cousin? He's so handsome. Come here and let me see him." Da Zhen didn't know who he was and glanced at her. "I'm your sister-in-law Chunfang." Wu Chunfang walked over, her heavily made-up face full of surprise and envy. "With this look and this figure, how many women will be charmed by him?" As she said that, she reached out and patted his chest gently, covered her mouth and said in surprise, "Oh, it's all muscles." Da Zhen looked at Wu Chunfang's face full of foundation, especially the thick eyeshadow. She looked like she was almost 40, but she was still pretending to be young. He didn't know what to say, and laughed dryly. "Sister-in-law Chunfang, I have something to do, so I'll leave first." Har har, the boy is quite shy. Wu Chunfang looked at him with a smile. Dajan arrived at the entrance of the village. There was a river on the mountain flowing through here. It was not big, only more than 4 meters wide, but the water was quite deep. The deepest place was 3 or 4 meters deep. There was a stone bridge on the river. In the middle of the day, not many people crossed the bridge. After crossing the bridge, walking for 5 miles ahead was the town. He walked all the way there and felt that sparks were coming out of the soles of his feet from walking all day. After walking around the town, he learned about the situation in the town. In the future, he would make money and settle down here, so he had to get familiar with the surrounding situation and integrate into the society here. It was already dark when he got home. Liu Mei was cooking. When she saw her coming back, she immediately mocked, "Hey, Dajan, where have you been? Did you get seduced by some girl?" Dajan smiled bitterly. "Sister Mai, I'm poor, who would be so blind to fall in love with me?" When Liu Mei heard this, she threw the spatula in her hand on the stove. "Dajan, what do you mean?" Dajan quickly explained, "That's not what I mean, Sister Mai, listen to me." Seeing Liu Mei go into the room and slam the door shut, he chased after her and almost got hit on the nose by the closed door. He looked at the closed door helplessly and ran to the kitchen to continue cooking. After dinner, Liu Mei got angry with him and went out without saying a word. He didn't know where she went. He was really too tired today. He lay in Liu Mei's room, turned on the air conditioner, and fell asleep in a daze. Suddenly he felt a pair of hands touching his chest. He grabbed them and called out in a daze, "Sister Mai, stop it." He, handsome boy, I'm not your Sister Mai, I'm your sister-in-law Chunfang." Dajan was frightened when he heard it, and immediately woke up. He saw Wu Chunfang sitting at the head of the bed, with her hands on his chest. Her face was as pale as if painted with white paint, and her thick smoky makeup made her look like a female ghost. He was so scared that he quickly shrank back. Sister-in-law Chunfang, what are you doing? Daejin, why are you hiding from me? Wu Chunfang was full of joy and reached out to grab him. He shrank in the bed and avoided Wu Chunfang's hand. Sister-in-law Chunfang, is Sister Mai coming back? He wanted to remind her that this was Liu Mei's home, not her home. Daejin, why are you hiding from me? Har har, you're still thinking about that vixen Liu Mei. She's playing mahjong at your sister-in-law Xiuqin's house. She won't be back until midnight. Daejin, you're so handsome. You must have trained your body. It's really cool. There's never been anyone as handsome as you in our village. Come here and let your sister-in-law love you. Wu Chunfang grabbed 2 handfuls and asked Daejin to avoid her. She simply didn't hold back and took off her shoes and got on the bed. She pounced on Daejin like a hungry tiger. Daejin was so scared that he jumped off the bed and looked at Wu Chunfang's excited face. He hurriedly shouted, Sister-in-law Chunfang, Sister Mai is back late. I'll go pick her up. Then he turned around and rushed out. Daejin, come back. I told you that your sister Mai won't be back for a while. What are you afraid of? Daejin rushed out without looking back. He heard a man roaring in front of him, well, you 2 adulterers, you actually cheated on me and came here. Daejin just arrived at the gate of the yard and saw a man holding a shovel in his hand. There were 3 people behind him blocking the gate. The middle-aged man in the lead had a fierce face and swung the shovel in his hand towards him. He was startled and quickly dodged. The shovel hit the ground hard and even the shovel head was broken. Who are you? What are you doing? He just arrived in the village and didn't know these people. I'm your grandfather. You dare to seduce my wife? I'll beat you to death. The man cursed and shouted at the people behind him, what are you still standing there for? Beat him to death. As he said that, the man picked up the half-broken stick and hit him again. The people behind him rushed in with their weapons. He retreated and hurriedly explained, brother, no, I didn't seduce your wife. Seeing that the other party didn't listen at all, he continued to hit him with things. He accidentally got hit on the arm. It hurt so much that he felt his bones were about to break. The other party was going to kill him. He didn't have time to say more. He turned around and rushed into the yard. He picked up the shovel against the wall and hit them. No matter what the situation was, if the other party wanted to hit him, he couldn't suffer this loss. He hit them first. He was strong to begin with. He swung the shovel so hard that several people didn't dare to get close. At this moment, Wu Chunfang in the house ran out in a panic. Seeing the situation in the yard, he hurriedly shouted, stop hitting, Daejin, stop it. Seeing Wu Chunfang running towards him in a panic, he was afraid of hurting people, so he hurriedly stopped. Who knew that Wu Chunfang rushed over, threw herself into his arms, and hugged him tightly, Daejin, stop hitting, you can't beat them. At this moment, Daejin suddenly saw a man behind him swinging a shovel and hitting his back. He hurriedly wanted to dodge, but Wu Chunfang hugged him tightly, staggered and lost his balance, and then the stick hit him directly on the back of the head. Yesterday's injury has not healed yet, and today he was hit on the back of the head again. His head buzzed, his eyes went black, and he fell to the ground. Fuck, Zhao Sanquan, what are you doing? Didn't I tell you to hit him on the body? Why did you hit him on the head? I just hit him on the spine. God knows how he got his head up. Check to see if he's still alive. Oh my god, we're done. This guy isn't breathing. It looks like we beat him to death. What should we do? Should we rush him to the hospital for emergency treatment? Why send him? He's dead. There's no way we can save him. We'll all go to jail and pay for our lives. Stop talking, throw this guy into the river quickly, he is a foreigner anyway, he can die if he dies, as long as we keep silent, no one will know about this. Daejin only felt that someone kept shaking his body, as if there were several people in front and behind him, running back and forth, his head was dizzy, and slowly he knew nothing. It was unknown how long it had been, Daejin felt a sudden chill on his body, a large amount of water poured into his nose, choking him and coughing several times. Who knew that he didn't breathe in air, but drank 2 mouthfuls of water in a row, struggled hard for a few times, felt his body getting heavier, and his mind, which had just regained consciousness, began to feel dizzy again. He tried hard to open his eyes and found that he was actually in the water. He wanted to swim up, but he was a landlubber. He struggled twice, but didn't float up, but sank to the bottom. His feet desperately kicked the ground, but he could only jump up a little. "It's over," he cried secretly. He didn't expect that he would die again just after he regained consciousness, and his good life hadn't started yet. At this moment, he suddenly saw a long black line swimming in front of him. When he got closer, he found that it was a black snake with horns on its head. It was as thick as his arm and bit his arm. He felt as if something was injected into him. He hurriedly shook his arm to get rid of the black snake. The black snake didn't pay much attention to him and turned around and left. Then, he felt a burning pain in his arm. The pain was like a fire snake drilling into his body, burning him all over. He didn't know where the strength came from, and he kicked the ground desperately. He swam to the surface of the water with his arms, struggled to the shore, grabbed the grass on the shore and climbed up. He lay on the ground and hadn't even taken a breath yet. The severe pain in his arm made him roll on the ground, holding his arm. He felt like his whole body was burning. "Oh no, that snake is poisonous." He wanted to cry but couldn't. It was such a bad fate. He just saved his life. Was he going to be poisoned by a poisonous snake again? After more than 10 minutes, he was sweating all over, and the burning pain slowly disappeared. He lay on the ground panting and sweating all over. "I'm not dead, I'm fine." He couldn't help laughing. These days were really exciting. He escaped death several times. He got up and moved around. As the burning pain completely disappeared, his whole body was not only not weak at all, but full of endless energy, giving him the illusion that he had killed a tiger with one punch. He looked down at the few snake tooth marks on his arm, which had already formed scars. He didn't think much about it and ran home excitedly. It was late at night, and there was not even a street light on the road. He looked ahead hard and suddenly felt that the originally dark world suddenly became clear. The big tree 100 meters away, the birds hatching eggs in the bird's nest, the village a mile away, the world became clear in his eyes, and he could even see the ants crawling 100 meters away. "Fuck, what's wrong with me?" He looked into the distance again and suddenly found that his eyes could see through the big tree and see what was behind. "I can see through." He looked around in surprise and wonder, curiously looking at this world he had never known before, as if the world was now wide. He ran home excitedly. As soon as he entered the house, before he could even call out, "Sister Mai," he heard Liu Mei's miserable cry from inside the house. "Zhao Dehai, you will die a miserable death, you are a worthless person." He was shocked and looked over in a hurry. Chapter 11. Just obey me. "Liu Mei, I've been coveting you for a long time, bitch. I'm telling you, don't think I don't know about you and that idiot. That idiot is the wild man you raised, right? I'm telling you, that idiot has been chased away by me. You just followed me. I'm also a well-known person in Qianzhou village. You won't lose out if you follow me. I promise you will have a good life in the future. Zhao Dehai, get out of here. What did you do to Dajin? Get out of here quickly. If you dare to touch me, I'll call the police tomorrow and sue you. I've been in the business for so many years, am I still afraid of you suing me? I'm telling you, there are people above me, no one can touch me. Just follow me obediently." Dajin was so angry that he rushed in. Before he even entered the door, he roared, "Get out of here." The people in the room heard the roar and hurriedly turned back to see that it was him. Wu Chunfang shouted in surprise, It's that idiot, he's not dead." Ouch! Without waiting for Wu Chunfang to finish, he rushed over and kicked Wu Chunfang in the stomach. Wu Chunfang was kicked up and hit the wall 2 meters away. He slid down the wall and lay on the ground with his hands on his stomach. He was so painful that he couldn't even scream. "Fuck, this kid is not dead." Someone shouted, picked up a cold water bottle and threw it at him. He was quick-eyed and quick-handed, and smashed the cold water bottle with a punch, hitting the other person's face. The man covered his nose and groaned and stepped back 2 steps, tears and snot falling one by one. "Fuck, this kid is crazy. I could beat you to death just now, and I will do the same now." The bald man who attacked him before kicked him in the stomach. He hated this grandson very much. If it weren't for his sneak attack, he would have almost died in the river just now. Seeing the other party kicking him, he grabbed the other party's ankle, exerted force with both hands, twisted his body, and actually threw the bald man weighing 170 to 180 kilograms up and smashed him heavily against the wall. A bang sound came, and the bald man felt that all the bones in his body were about to be shattered. He lay on the ground, struggling and twisting his body, gasping for breath, and his face was flushed. After dealing with these minions, he stared at Zhao Dahai, who hurriedly climbed up from Liu Mei, with a gloomy look in his eyes. Zhao Dahai was panicked. "Da Zhen, I tell you, you'd better not touch me. I, Zhao Dahai, have dozens of brothers. No one in this village dares to mess with me. If you dare to touch me, I will make you pay for it." "Pay for it?" He laughed grimly, rushed over, pulled off the bed sheet, and covered Zhao Dahai with it. He grabbed the corners of the bed sheet and swung him up. After swinging him twice, he suddenly let go. Wu Chunfang, who had just climbed up from the ground, had not reacted yet, and saw a black thing rushing towards him. He was hit hard and the two rolled to the ground, screaming in pain. "You bastard!" Dajin rushed forward, slapped Zhao Dahai left and right, and slapped him several times. The corners of Zhao Dahai's mouth were bleeding. He grabbed Zhao Dahai's collar and said angrily, "Zhao Dahai, tell me, why did you want to hurt me?" Zhao Dahai was beaten black and blue. Looking at Dajin with a fierce face, he was panicked and scared, but he still shouted stubbornly, "You stupid idiot, you dare to hit me, I tell you, you'd better let me go immediately, otherwise, you will have a hard time." Still stubborn. He raised his hand and slapped him twice. Zhao Dahai's head was tilted and drooped there. His eyes were scattered and he looked like he was in a bad state. Stop hitting me, I'll tell you, I'll tell you." Wu Chunfang screamed, "It's the land, it's for Liu Mei's land. We want to rent land. Liu Mei's land is right in the middle of the land we rented. He refused to rent it to us. We had no choice. Hearing that you were back, Dahai asked me to seduce you, and then went to your house to catch you and force you to hand over the land. Dajin, stop hitting me. We know we were wrong and we won't dare to do it again." Later, Liu Mei heard it and couldn't help but rushed over and said angrily, "That land was left to me by my husband Zhao Tong. I won't rent it to you. You want to harm me just for a piece of land?" "No, Sister Liu Mei, we know we were wrong and we won't dare to do it again." Wu Chunfang shouted in panic. "Call the police." Dajin pushed Zhao Dahai to the ground fiercely and yelled. Liu Mei picked up her phone and was ready to call the police, but she hesitated and didn't dial because she thought of something. "What's wrong?" Dajin's eyes narrowed, and Liu Mei's heart trembled. She hurriedly whispered, "Don't call the police." Yes, don't call the police. We are willing to compensate and promise that we will never dare to do it again." Wu Chunfang shouted hurriedly. He stared at Liu Mei and felt that he was hesitant. After thinking about it, he understood Liu Mei's idea. Liu Mei, a widow, lived in the village of her parents-in-law. Her family was honest and had no power. It was not easy for her to live. Now she was almost raped. It would not be good if it was spread out. Another important reason was that he was afraid that these people would go out and talk nonsense and meddle in the matter between them. Thinking of this, he glared at the few people on the ground fiercely. "Okay, I won't call the police for today's matter, but I will let you know who dares to go out and talk nonsense. I am not from here, but I don't care about you. I am barefoot and I am not afraid of you who wear shoes. I will run away even if you kill me. Okay, we promise that we will never say a word." Wu Chunfang nodded hurriedly. "Get out." Wu Chunfang hurriedly got up from the ground and asked a few people to help Zhao Dahai out. He followed to the door, and after the people left, he closed the door heavily, and returned to the room. He saw Liu Mei sitting on the bed, looking at him with a pair of big eyes. "What's wrong? I got a flower on my face." Liu Mei blushed, rubbed the corners of her clothes with both hands, and actually had a little woman's attitude. "No, I just thought you were so handsome when you hit someone just now." He smiled bitterly. "You still have the mind to pay attention to these. What's the matter with the land they are talking about?" When it comes to business, Liu Mei's expression straightened up and whispered. "Zhao Tong left not long after I got married. The land belonged to Zhao Tong. He left it to me after he left. It's not much, 2 acres. Zhao Dahai wanted to rent land this year and got dozens of acres. My piece of land happened to be in the middle of the land he rented. They came to me several times, and threatened and lured me. It was left to me by Zhao Tong. I didn't trust Zhao Dahai, so I didn't agree. Later, I was afraid that they would retaliate against me. Because I had no money, I thought about going to the south to work and try my luck. Who knew that they would always remember that I had just come back and made a fuss? Fortunately, you are here, otherwise. He understood, nodded and said, "Don't worry, if they dare to make trouble again in the future, I will never forgive them." "Thank you, Daejin, you saved me again." Liu Mei stood up and said timidly. "Why are we still talking about this?" He walked over. When Liu Mei saw him coming, her face immediately turned red, and she lowered her head with a shy look. He took a pillow from the bed, picked up the bed sheet and hugged it to prepare to go out. "Where are you going?" Liu Mei looked blankly. "I'm going to sleep in the east room." "Why?" Liu Mei asked. He paused and smiled bitterly. "Sister Mai, we are not husband and wife, so we should be careful." Liu Mei stared at him as he left the house, feeling empty in her heart, as if she had lost something close to her heart. Daejin came to the east room, where there was a bed and a table, nothing else, very simple. He spread the bed sheet on the bed and lay down. It was really hot, and he couldn't fall asleep. He couldn't help thinking about the past 2 days. After all, he and Liu Mei were not husband and wife. He was a fool before, didn't know anything, and was still away from home. He slept together. Now that he is sober, he must be responsible for his actions. He can't seek temporary pleasure and ruin Liu Mei's future. And when they were fighting just now, he felt that his strength was greater than before, and his speed was much faster. He could actually lift Zhao Dehai, who weighed 170 or 180 kilograms, without feeling any effort. This strength is awesome. There was also today's adventure. I was bitten by a snake, but I actually gained the ability to see through things. I wonder if this thing has anything to do with the black snake with horns. He was thinking about these things in a messy way and fell asleep in a daze. However, in the second half of the night, Daejin suddenly felt like there was a hot current in his body washing his limbs and bones. He was in a hurry to urinate, so he ran to the yard outside the house in the dark and pulled down his pants. He was too lazy to run to the dry toilet not far away, so he just urinated comfortably in the open space in the yard where fruits and vegetables were planted. After finishing, Daejin rubbed his sleepy eyes, and did not check whether the watermelon seedlings were killed by his urine. He went back to their house yawning and continued to sleep. The next morning, before dawn, he heard Liu Mei scream. He got up in a hurry, thinking that Zhao Dehai had come back for revenge. He rushed out of the house and saw Liu Mei standing in front of the toilet, looking at the seedlings all over the ground in panic. He was stunned when he saw the melon vines and basketball-sized watermelons all over the ground. His mind was confused. It seemed that there were no watermelons planted in the yard yesterday. Where did these watermelons come from? Daejin, look, how come watermelons are growing in our yard? He walked over and looked at the sweet potatoes all over the ground. They covered half of the yard, and there were at least hundreds of melons. Looking along the melon vines, he saw that these melon vines actually grew from the land in the yard where melons and fruits were planted. He stepped on the melon vines and ran over to take a look. He couldn't help but be stunned by the scene in front of him. Fuck! He saw melon vines crawling out from inside, at least dozens of them, and there was even a pumpkin vine in the middle. This. He stared at the scene in front of him in amazement. It was too bizarre. It was fine when he came to pee last night. Why is it like this today? Even if it's a watermelon, it takes others several months to grow a watermelon. How can it grow overnight? Daejin, our family must be cursed. This is too weird. Liu Mei followed from behind. No way. He didn't have confidence either. It was too weird. If there was a curse, which evil thing would give you a watermelon to eat? He picked up a watermelon from the ground and took a look. It was thumping. It should be ripe. He punched it and the watermelon split open, revealing the bright red flesh inside. A fresh scent of watermelon came to his nose, which made people feel refreshed. He took a bite of half a watermelon. It was crisp and sweet. The flesh was more delicate and sweet than those watermelons outside. He could even feel a lot more comfortable in his stomach after taking a bite. Hey, Sister Mai, try it. It's delicious. He took 2 big bites. The sweet taste was so delicious that he couldn't let it go. In a few minutes, he had eaten half a watermelon. Really? Seeing him eating voraciously, Liu Mei couldn't help but take a bite. Her eyes lit up. This taste was simply unmatched. Sister Mai, this watermelon is really delicious. Look at the watermelons all over the ground. We can sell them for thousands of yuan. The watermelons on the ground weigh at least thousands of kilograms. At the current price of 1 yuan per kilogram, it is no problem to sell them for thousands of yuan. Liu Mei said while eating, I'll go to my parents-in-law's house to borrow the tricycle, and we'll go to the county to sell watermelons. He looked at the watermelons growing out of the field, and he really didn't know what was going on. How could these watermelons grow so much in one night and ripen? The most important thing was that no one planted seeds in them. Could it be? Chapter 12. How about we give it a try? He remembered that Liu Mei bought half a melon yesterday, and they both ate a little. However, Liu Mei spit out the seeds when eating watermelon, but he didn't spit out the seeds when eating melon. Could it be that the watermelon was imported? Jen, where do you think this watermelon came from? How should I know? He was embarrassed to say it. If Liu Mei knew that it was the credit of his pea, she might spit it out, but the problem of the seeds could be explained, but how to explain that it grew so big overnight? It's really strange. Could it be that God saw that I had a hard life and showed mercy and rewarded me with it? Liu Mei couldn't eat it after eating half a watermelon. She burped and handed him the remaining half of the watermelon. Don't tell me, it's really delicious. I wonder if it's because organic fertilizers are better than fertilizers. Jen laughed dryly, looked at the melon vines emerging from the ground, and thought about his pea again. Is it pure and natural and pollution-free? Ouch, no, I have diarrhea. Liu Mei suddenly cried out while holding her stomach. She wanted to go to the toilet, so she turned around and ran to a corner of the yard. Seeing Jen following her out, she hurriedly shouted, "Go into their house, don't peek." Jen hurriedly turned around and ran into their house, still thinking about this in his mind. This was too weird. After waiting for a few minutes, he heard some noise in the yard. He peeked through the window and saw Liu Mei shoveling soil with a shovel to bury something. When he came to the yard, he smelled a foul odor that almost choked him. "Sister Mei, you are so beautiful, why do you poop so badly?" "Hey, it's so bad." Liu Mei blushed and turned back to glare at him. "Only your poop smells good. My poop doesn't stink that bad." He hid in the house, covering his nose. After a while, Liu Mei came in with a red face and slapped him twice. "I told you not to laugh at me." He laughed dryly. "No joke, I just said the truth by accident." "You keep talking." Liu Mei hit him hard twice, touched her belly and said, "But don't talk, I feel much better in my stomach." Seeing that Jen didn't say anything, she glared at him, turned her head and said, "Go pick all those melons, I'll change my clothes, go to my parents-in-law's house to borrow the tricycle, and we'll go to the county town to sell melons." He agreed and came to the yard. Before he started, he heard Liu Mei shouting in surprise, "Jen, come quickly." "What's wrong?" He ran into their house and saw that Liu Mei was wearing a t-shirt, revealing her lower abdomen. "Jen, look." "Sister Mei, this is not good," he said hesitantly. "Who told you to look around?" "Look at where I had surgery. I had appendicitis before and had surgery. Look at the incision. It's not that obvious now." Wang Zhen remembered that the incision on his stomach was not big, only about 3 centimeters, and it was a very obvious scar. Now he leaned over to take a closer look and found that the incision was much lighter. "It's true, Sister Mei, your scar has faded a lot." "Really? What's going on? It's weird." Liu Mei was full of thought. "Do you think it's because of that watermelon?" Jen thought for a while. "You should not be like this last night, you just ate a watermelon, and then you feel much better." "I don't know, could it be this thing?" Liu Mei said in surprise. "If so, we have found a treasure." "I don't know, otherwise, let's experiment." "How to experiment?" "Look at someone with a scar on his body, and ask him to eat a piece." Liu Mei was moved when she heard it, and hurriedly said, "Ask my mother-in-law to eat it. She had a tumor and had an operation. The wound is bigger than mine, about 10 centimeters. I'll ask her to try it. It's just right to borrow the tricycle." As he said, Liu Mei ran to the yard to pick a watermelon and ran away in a hurry. He stood in the yard, looking at the watermelons all over the ground. Strange things happen every year, but there are especially many in the past 2 days. Peeing grows watermelons, and they grow overnight. It's really strange. While waiting for Liu Mei to do the experiment, he picked all the melons in the yard and piled them in the corner, just in time for the tricycle to arrive and go to the county town to sell the melons. An hour later, Liu Mei came back in a hurry on her tricycle, and exclaimed with surprise, "Da Jen, it's amazing. My mother-in-law ate the watermelon and had a severe diarrhea. The diarrhea was more smelly than mine. My father-in-law was vomited because of the odor, but he also ate it and had diarrhea." He looked at Liu Mei with a frown. "Sister Mai, we are talking about the effect. Why are you talking about this?" "Effect? Yes, I looked at the wound on my mother-in-law's body, and it really lightened a little. Not only the wound, but also the stretch marks, all lightened. It should be the watermelon. And my mother-in-law also said that she had a sore in the past few days and had a mouth ulcer. After eating this watermelon, the mouth ulcer has improved a lot. Da Jen, do you think this watermelon has medicinal effects?" He listened and looked at the watermelons piled up at the wall. He was surprised. Could it be that this watermelon really has medicinal effects? The book says that watermelon has the effects of clearing away heat and relieving fire, promoting diuresis and defecation, and whitening the skin. The reactions of Liu Mei and his mother-in-law just now are exactly the same. If this is true, this watermelon is not an ordinary watermelon, but is far more precious than other melons. Da Jen, what are you doing stupidly? Help me load all the watermelons. He thought about it, walked over to help and asked, "Sister Mai, how much do you plan to sell it for per pound when we get to the county?" "It's 1 yuan now, and we are not greedy, 90 cents will be fine," Liu Mei said happily. "No, 9 cents is a big loss for us." He shook his head. "Sister Mai, you have discovered that our watermelons are different from other watermelons. Not only are they more delicious, but they also have medicinal effects. They can reduce internal heat, relieve constipation, promote diuresis, and whiten and fade stretch marks. If we sell our watermelons at the same price as other watermelons, it would be a big loss. And we only have so many watermelons, who knows if they will grow again?" Liu Mei heard that this was the truth, and looked at him and asked, "Then how much do you think you sell it for?" 50 yuan per catty. 50 yuan. Liu Mei was startled and asked hesitantly, "Can it be sold?" "It's okay, good food is not afraid of being late, good goods are not afraid of being sold. If it doesn't work, I'll go by myself first, take 3 or 4 watermelons to try to sell, and we'll talk about it if it doesn't work." Liu Mei hesitated and nodded. "Okay, then you go." "Okay, I'll try it myself first." He loaded 4 watermelons on the car and rode the tricycle towards the county town. Chapter 13. Not too little. He had just arrived and was not familiar with the county at all. He only knew how to get there from the bus he took in the county when he returned to the village from the south. When he arrived in the county, he followed the original road to the bus station and stopped in front of the station. Seeing that there were many people taking the bus back and forth, he shouted at the top of his voice, selling watermelons, the big watermelons grown at home are not only delicious, but also can cure diseases. Come and have a look." If it were an ordinary person, he might not be able to save his face and shout, but Dajan had been abducted and sold before, and he had done all kinds of embarrassing jobs, so this was no problem at all. After shouting twice, someone actually came over and asked him, "How much is this watermelon?" "These are all watermelons grown by our family, and they have medicinal value. If you have internal heat or bad skin, they are effective, so I sell them at a higher price, 50 yuan a pound." 50 yuan? Are you trying to rob me? The man was startled and waved his hands repeatedly. "I see you are crazy about money, a watermelon is 50 yuan a pound, really?" Seeing that the person left, he was not panicked, because he knew that others would react like this after knowing his price, and continued to shout, "I'm selling watermelons. The watermelons grown by our family are cultivated with traditional Chinese medicine. They have the effect of whitening and fading spots, and can also clear away heat and reduce internal heat. The effect is very good, 50 yuan a pound." When the people passing by heard the price, they turned their heads and looked at him like a fool. It's summer, and watermelons are cheap. Who sells watermelons for 51 pounds? Even in winter, there are no 51-pound watermelons. This is a fucking fool. He was not panicked when he called people to watch, and kept shouting, "I say, your watermelon really has the effects you said, you are liar. How can this be? We are an authentic business, and our family is in this county, we can't cheat people." Har har, who would say he is a liar? He is young, he can do anything, but he has to cheat people. Someone laughed and said, "Come on, liars won't give you anything when they cheat you, but at least they give you a watermelon when they cheat you." Maybe this is a psychological therapy, giving you a psychological suggestion to make you think it works. He can obviously rob money, but he gave you a watermelon. A large group of people gathered around in a short while, but most of them were there to watch the fun and jokes, and no one really bought anything. Daejin listened to their ridicule, but did not argue. He looked at them happily. With more people, he could earn some traffic. If he spread the news, it would have an impact. Who knows who would hear it? Then someone might come to his door. He shouted twice, and more people gathered around. He glanced and suddenly saw a young man hiding behind the crowd, reaching into a man's pocket and taking out a mobile phone. He glared, pointed at the man and shouted, "Be careful, there's a thief." The thief was so scared when he heard the shout that he quickly put his phone in his arms and turned around to squeeze out of the crowd. "Don't run." He threw away the tricycle and chased after the thief. There were many people around, and they looked back one by one, but no one cared about this. He wanted to chase after him, but these people affected his pace. He finally squeezed through the crowd and rushed out, but the thief had already run away with the phone. My phone is gone." The person whose phone was stolen finally realized what was happening and ran after it. Daejin watched the thief disappear into the crowd. There were so many people at the station that it was impossible to find the target once he lost it. However, he had divine eyes that penetrated the crowd and closely tracked the man. He quickly ran after him. He moved quickly through the crowd and saw that the thief was very familiar with the place. He went into the bus station and then jumped into a bus with the door open. The driver of the bus was not there, and there was no one on it. The other party was crouching under the seat, looking very skilled and ruthless. He must have used this method to avoid being tracked by many people. But he had met his nemesis today. Seeing that he stopped running, Daejin ran to the front of the bus and ran to where he was hiding after getting on the bus. The thief hadn't noticed that he had gotten on the bus and was still hiding there without looking up. He patted his shoulder and the thief was startled. He raised his head suddenly and saw that it was him. His face immediately became panicked. Wang Zhen looked at him. He looked like a teenager, young and fierce, with messy short hair that hadn't been washed for several days. His clothes were tattered and had holes in several places. He looked like a homeless person. He frowned and said, "Give me your phone." The young man knew he couldn't escape, so he took out his phone and handed it to him. He picked it up and looked at it, wondering whether to call the police. Who knew that the other party knelt in front of him? Brother, don't call the police. I know I was wrong, I won't dare to do it again. I was just too hungry, so I stole it. Please forgive me this time. I promise I won't dare to do it again. Where are your family members? I don't know, they don't want me anymore. There are only me and my grandma at home. My grandma is sick, there is no money for medical treatment, so I thought about doing something, but I am not yet an adult. No one wants me, I really have no choice. Please forgive me this time. You are quite skilled, you must have done it a lot. The young man was stunned, lowered his head and said nothing. Okay, I won't call the police, you can go. He turned around and got off the car with the phone, and when he got back to the place, he saw the owner waiting there anxiously. Seeing him come back with the phone, he hurried up to take it and kept thanking him. The people who were just watching the joke on the side couldn't help but praise his actions. This guy is good. Just from this action, he doesn't look like a liar. It's just that the melon is too expensive. We can't afford it. It's 50 yuan per catty. This melon must weigh more than 10 catties. It costs hundreds of yuan to buy a watermelon. I don't have the consumption capacity. Yeah, I can only support him spiritually. He heard the discussions around him and said with a smile, "Uncles and aunts, brothers and sisters, I guarantee that this watermelon is a good melon. I know it's expensive. I thank you for your support. If I can sell it, I will sell it. If I can't sell it, I will just chat with you. Hey, this boss knows how to talk, and he is authentic. The boss is a good person. I want to be extravagant." Daejin smiled and returned to the tricycle. Suddenly, he found that one of the melons was missing, and only 3 were left. He looked at the tricycle speechlessly. He helped others chase things, but his own things were gone. Damn it, who stole the watermelon? There were clearly 4 of them just now. Someone in the crowd cursed, "You even stole the watermelon of a good person, aren't you afraid of being punished by God?" That's right, who is so shameless that he even stole other people's watermelons. He listened to the people around him indignantly helping him to criticize, turned around and smiled bitterly. "Thank you, everyone, it's okay, it's just a watermelon, I stole it if I stole it. Chapter 14. Taste something new. After thanking everyone, he knew that he couldn't sell the watermelon here, so he simply rode his tricycle to other places. His watermelons are expensive, not everyone can afford them. If he wants to sell them, he has to find a place with consumption capacity. There are not many places that can afford them. He thought about it and remembered that Liu Mei said that there was a 4-star hotel in the county called the Merchants Hotel, which was built when the previous leadership was engaged in large-scale demolition and construction. The county entertained VIPs here. Thinking of this, he asked a vendor and rode his tricycle over there. The county town was not big, and the Merchants Hotel was not far away. It took more than 10 minutes to get there. It was generally not allowed to set up stalls in front of such hotels, as it was easy to be driven away. He parked his tricycle opposite. Anyway, he only pulled 3 watermelons. People who didn't know him would never think that he was selling watermelons. He squatted at the door for a while and saw someone coming out. He took a look and saw that although the other person was wearing a suit, he didn't look like a big boss, so he didn't call him. It was not until afternoon that people kept coming out to eat. He found the right time and shouted loudly, "I'm selling watermelons. The watermelons grown by myself with Chinese medicine are not only delicious, but also have medicinal effects. They can whiten and remove scars, clear away heat and reduce fire, and promote bowel movements and urination. 1 pound is 50 yuan. Come and have a look." He shouted several times in a row, and his loud voice really attracted the attention of the group of people opposite. A man turned around and said a few words to the person behind him. His face was not very good, and he pointed at him. He saw it in his eyes. Judging from the other person's clothes, he should be an official. It seems that he can't sell it today. The other party may call someone to drive him away. Who knows that a woman in the crowd seems to be interested and waves at him. He saw that there was a chance, so he hurriedly stepped on the tricycle and walked over. He looked at the woman and smiled. "Boss, do you want to buy melons?" The woman was wearing a suit with a white base shirt inside, short hair, and glasses. She looked a little heroic and capable. "How much did you say your melon was for?" 51 pounds. 51 pounds. The woman pushed her glasses in surprise and looked at the watermelons in the tricycle. They looked no different from ordinary watermelons. "Har har, Bossu, let's go visit our Chinese medicine planting area first." Bossu didn't say anything. He looked at the 3 watermelons and touched them. "Boss, what's so special about your watermelons that you sell them for 51 kilograms? Da Zhen could see that there were several officials here, with an official air, and they might be discussing business with Bossu. They were hostile and impatient to him. If he couldn't catch this business, he would probably ask someone to investigate soon. He cheered up and said with a smile, "Boss, our watermelons are grown with our family's unique secret recipe, using various herbs as fertilizers. Not only are they delicious, but they are also very delicious, and it has medicinal effects. It can cure constipation and internal heat in one go. The most important thing is that it has the effect of beautifying and removing spots and scars. Scars like wounds will fade quickly after taking it." "Really?" Bossu smiled. "How powerful is the effect?" He thought about it. The previous experiments were all conducted at home. He didn't know if it was suitable for everyone, but he knew that there was only one chance. If it succeeded, it would be a deal today. Moreover, the officials next to him would have no reason to arrest him again. If it failed, I'm afraid it would be difficult for those officials to pass it today. We tried it. After my mother-in-law took it, the old stretch marks on her belly faded a lot. The effect was very fast, just a few hours." "Really?" Bossu looked at the other party curiously. If he said that it would take a few days or even a month to see the effect, he could still suspect that the other party was a liar, but if he said that the effect could be seen in a few hours, it would be too easy to expose. She was just curious, and since she was a drug grower and seller, she was more sensitive to this aspect, so she called the other party over to ask questions. "Now it seems that this effect is really there. I'll buy one." Bossu took out his mobile phone and prepared to scan the code to pay. "Oh, I don't have a mobile phone." Da Zhen said awkwardly, "I forgot my mobile phone at home today, can you give me cash?" Bossu looked suspicious. Could it be that the other party was really a liar? If he didn't pay, he wouldn't know the other party's information, and it would be difficult to find the person if he was deceived. He picked up a watermelon, weighed it and handed it over. "Bossu, a total of 13 pounds, 650 yuan, 600 yuan, you are discounted, take this watermelon first, you can try it when you go back. If it works, you can write down my mobile phone number, add WeChat and transfer the money to me. If it doesn't work, just treat it as a gift to you. Boss Su didn't expect him to do this, just give a watermelon, but after all, he has been working in the mall for many years, and he immediately understood what the other party meant. The other party didn't bring a mobile phone, and was afraid that he would doubt himself and stop buying watermelons. Moreover, her status is not an ordinary person, so she won't be greedy for hundreds of yuan from him. If this watermelon is really effective, he will naturally pay for it. Even if the effect is not achieved, she will not owe the other party hundreds of yuan, and will still pay. But in the end, once the expected effect is achieved, it is equivalent to pulling a long line, and he can also use his mouth to promote it. By the way, as long as he calls or adds WeChat, it is equivalent to giving the other party contact information, which will be convenient for contact in the future if there is any cooperation. Boss Su looked at Daejin and thought that this young man was interesting. He knew how to play the long game and catch big fish. He was much better than the old businessman. She took the watermelon and handed it to the secretary beside her with a smile. Okay, just as you said. Daejin smiled and nodded, turned to look at the other officials, and said with a guilty face, bosses, leaders, I hope I didn't disturb you. I believe in my watermelon. I hope the leaders can give me a chance to bring honor to our county. Just now, those leaders couldn't get angry in front of Boss Su, but seeing that Daejin was so tactful and actually said it in advance, they were a little surprised. The leader who was still angry just now showed a faint smile. I can give you the opportunity, but the policy of our county must be honest business. If Boss Su eats your watermelon and finds that it doesn't work, then you are falsely advertising and deliberately if you cheat, our Urban Management and Law Enforcement Bureau will not let you go. Thank you, leaders. He said with surprise, I won't bother you, goodbye. He got on the tricycle and was ready to leave. He had only taken 2 steps when he turned around and rode back, picked up the remaining 2 melons and ran to give them to them. Wait a minute, leaders. I didn't know you just now and offended you. I can't sell my melons anyway, and it would be a waste to take them back. I'll give them to you to taste, as an apology. When Boss Su heard this, he couldn't help but ask him with a smile, you gave the melons to your leaders, but sold them to me. This is bullying me, an outsider. When Daejin heard this, his face straightened, this is not right, Boss Su, I sell to you for after-sales service. I can guarantee that my melons have the effects I said. If you have any problems, you can find me, but it's different if I give them away. Chapter 15 cured the beautiful girl's constipation. Boss Su chuckled, his chest jumping up and down, making people dizzy. Okay, I'll wait and see what you say. If it really has the effect you said, maybe we can cooperate. The county leaders on the side couldn't help but light up their eyes after hearing this. They surrounded the other party, just to strive for the other party's project to be located in the county. After all their efforts, the other party had not given in. Now, for the sake of this watermelon, they actually agreed. If it succeeds, the project will be implemented. Their interest was immediately aroused. When they return later, they must verify this watermelon carefully, hoping that it is real. Thank you, Boss Su. Daejin hurriedly thanked them and watched them leave. He felt proud in his heart. Today was considered a good harvest. He still had some confidence in his watermelons. As long as the expected effect is achieved, we can get in touch with the other party, and we won't have to worry about selling the melons in the yard. Thousands of kilograms can be sold for hundreds of thousands of yuan. With this startup capital, we will have the capital to make money in the future. When Liu Mei returned home on her tricycle, she heard some noise and ran out in a hurry. Seeing that the watermelons in the tricycle basket were gone, she asked in surprise, have you sold all those watermelons? Is there anyone who would buy them for 50 yuan? No, I sold one, someone stole one, and I gave away 2. He laughed. Someone stole one? Damn it, which bastard stole our melons? 1 melon costs hundreds of dollars. No, you gave 2 away. You are so generous. You just gave away something worth thousands of dollars. You really don't know what's going on. This is all money. Liu Mei said a few words to him distressedly, and then spread out her hands. Where is the money from selling melons? The other party hasn't given it yet. No. Why? I don't have a cell phone. Who carries cash these days? I'll ask the other party to go back and try again. Ask him to add you on WeChat and transfer the money to you. You. Liu Mei was so angry that she pointed at him and didn't know what to say. Are you stupid? Why are you still so stupid when you are sober? In this day and age, who will give you money if you give it to others? Don't you use your brain? You have been cheated. No, Sister Mai, don't worry, I will definitely call you, he said with a smile. How is that possible? I promise you, I absolutely won't do that. I'm not as stupid as you to just give the melon to someone like that. Oh, I really don't know what to say to you. Liu Mei was so angry that her chest heaved up and down, and her t-shirt was about to burst. Sister Mai, don't worry, I won't. He didn't explain. Anyway, Liu Mei wouldn't believe anything he said at this moment. Sister Mai, I haven't eaten yet, do you have any leftovers from lunch? Eat. Just eating won't help you grow your brain. Liu Mei said angrily. She went to the kitchen to heat up the leftovers from lunch and brought them to him. Eat. Don't just eat. Use your brain. Even a 13-year-old child knows you can't do that. He laughed helplessly, then started to eat the clumped-up remaining noodles with big mouthfuls. After dinner, I went back to their house and took a nap. When I woke up, it was already 5 in the afternoon. I got up and swept the yard. Looking at the watermelon vines in the yard, I wondered if there would be another batch of fruits tomorrow. It would be great if they could produce fruits continuously, then I wouldn't have to worry about it in the future. After preparing dinner, he called Liu Mei to come over to eat. Liu Mei came out angrily, looked at him and said, Look, it's been the whole afternoon and no one has added me. I think you've been tricked. No, Sister Mai, wait a little longer. He will definitely call. You're just being stubborn. Liu Mei knew it was useless to say anything more, but she was unwilling to accept it and couldn't help but grumble. Su Rong finished a day's inspection, and his secretary drove him back to the China Merchants Hotel. Generally speaking, Tushan County was very average in all aspects. The Chinese medicine planting base was also very ordinary, without any special features. It was quite different from the counties he had inspected before. He was a little disappointed. After all, Tushan County had given many preferential policies, and if it was more outstanding, it would not be impossible to consider it. I got off the car at the hotel entrance and was about to go up when I heard the secretary ask, Boss, what should we do with this watermelon? Su Rong just remembered that he bought a watermelon out of curiosity in the afternoon, and he hadn't paid for it yet. After thinking for a while, he said, Send it upstairs. Oh, and cut it up and send it over. I only need 2 pieces, and you can eat the rest. Okay, boss. The secretary picked up watermelon and went upstairs with him. Su Rong entered the room, sat on a chair, turned on the computer and looked at the messages sent from various departments of the company. After briefly processing them, he heard a knock on the door, went to open it, and saw his secretary holding a fruit plate with 2 pieces of melon in it. The color of this melon is really nice, it is moist and has a fresh fragrance that increases your appetite. It looks good, have you tried it? The secretary smiled and said, Not yet, I'll eat later. Su Rong knew that he was afraid that he would want more after eating 2 pieces, but there would be no more. He nodded, picked up a piece of melon and said, Come in too. He turned around and went into their house, taking a bite as he walked. The moment the flesh entered his mouth, he couldn't help but stop. This melon was indeed a little different from other melons. What's wrong, boss? The secretary followed him and asked when he saw him suddenly stop. It's delicious, you should try it. Su Rong took another bite. The sweet feeling stimulated her taste buds, making her feel physically and mentally happy, and even swept away the tiredness in her body. Really? The secretary also took a bite and his eyes lit up. Boss, it's delicious, better than the watermelons I've eaten. This tastes pretty good. Just for this taste, 51 kilograms is not expensive. Su Rong smiled and said, He said it can also beautify the skin, remove freckles, promote bowel movements and urination, and clear away heat and reduce internal heat. It just so happens that I have been constipated these days, so I will try it later to see the effect. I think he's talking nonsense. I've eaten a lot of watermelons, but the scars on my back haven't gotten any lighter. The secretary laughed. When she was young, she had acne. Others had acne on their faces, but he had it on his back. After the acne marks fell, a large area was left. She tried many methods but none of them worked. It was a source of worry for her. He sounds quite confident, maybe it really works. Su Rong didn't quite believe it, but the taste was definitely worth the price. He would add the other party on WeChat and transfer the money to him. It's not easy for ordinary people to grow crops. Are there any more? It's delicious. Su Rong was eating while checking her email. She finished the whole piece of melon without realizing it. She felt it was still not enough, so she turned around and asked. Yes. The secretary hurried back and brought back a few more pieces. You also went on the inspection today. What do you think of Tushan County? Su Rong asked after reading the email. I think Tushan County actually has certain advantages. Many of our medicinal herbs need to be grown in the shade of the mountains, which is actually quite good. But I think Tushan County doesn't pay much attention to the cultivation of herbal medicines, including the medicinal material base we saw. What's in it? They just planted some random herbs and called it a base, the secretary pointed out bluntly. That's the case. Su Rong thought about it and decided not to consider Tushan County for the time being. I'm going to the toilet. As soon as he made the decision, Su Rong felt his stomach churning. He said it quickly and went to the toilet. The secretary looked a little surprised. Could it be that this watermelon can really help with bowel movements? The boss has been constipated for a long time. She lifted her clothes doubtfully and looked at herself in the mirror in the living room. She saw that the acne marks, which were very serious, had obviously lightened. Her eyes widened instantly when she saw this. Chapter 16 I will definitely repay you. After dinner, he sat in the yard, fanning himself and listening to the hum of the air conditioner. He couldn't help but turn his head to look inside the house. These days, you can't live without air conditioning. Looking at the watermelon vines growing on the ground, he couldn't help but think that he was lazy last night and peed on the garbage dump, and as a result, there were so many watermelons the next day. Could it be because of his urine? He looked at the few watermelon seeds that Liu Mei had spit out on the ground, picked them up, secretly planted them in the vegetable garden, and then sprinkled some water on them. After doing all this, he felt that this was too bizarre and unlikely. I sat back down and looked up. The moon was high above me. Why hadn't Boss Su transferred the money yet? Was it because his watermelon didn't work? Or did the other party not eat it at all? Just as I was thinking about it, I suddenly heard a knock on the door. Who is it? He ran over and opened the door, and was stunned when he saw the person coming. Is it you? The person standing at the door turned out to be the thief who stole the cell phone during the day, and he was accompanied by a child of about 8 or 9 years old. When the two men saw him, the young man immediately pulled the child next to him, and they both knelt down and kowtowed continuously. No, what are you two doing? He hurriedly reached out to help them, but the two refused to stand up. Brother, please save my grandma. I know you are a good person. Please save my grandma. I am willing to follow you in the future. I will do whatever you ask me to do. My grandma is the only relative we have. I beg you. Da Zhen was confused. What happened to your grandma? I'm not a doctor. I don't know how to save people. My grandma is sick. The doctor says it's cancer. She's dying. Hearing the young man say this, he scratched his head and said, But I'm not a doctor. Do you want to borrow money from me? No, big brother, we want to borrow some watermelons from your son. Borrow a watermelon. He was even more confused. I stole a cell phone this morning and you went to catch me. My younger brother thought you were bullying me and wanted to get something delicious for grandma. Our family is poor and we haven't eaten fruit for a long time, so he stole a watermelon from you. You stole my watermelon. He looked at the kid and laughed angrily. I'm sorry, the child said in a low voice with his head down. Brother, let's go back and give the watermelon to grandma. As a result, grandma is in better spirits and can even speak. Maybe the medicine you took worked. No, my family is poor and we don't have money to buy medicine, so I stole some things. The money I earned was just enough to buy some painkillers. It must be your watermelon, brother. Didn't you say that your watermelon has medicinal effects? Maybe it was your watermelon that cured my grandma. Please, give us a few more watermelons. I will definitely repay you. He listened and felt strange, because watermelon's medicinal effect was only to clear away heat and reduce fire, and he had never heard that it was also effective against cancer. But seeing the two children were pitiful, he thought for a moment and said, Okay, I'll give it to you too, but I want to go with you to take a look. Okay. The young man was overjoyed when he heard it. He kowtowed twice before standing up. He returned to the yard, moved 2 watermelons onto the tricycle, said something to Liu Mei, let Liu Mei nag him a few more words, and then he rode the tricycle and took the 2 of them over. How did you 2 know I was here? We asked around. Someone saw you walking this way, so we went to every village to ask. After listening to this, he couldn't help but feel a little touched. It's not unreasonable that children from poor families grow up early. He was so young, and he came all the way from the county, going through 20 or 30 villages. I really don't know how the 2 people asked around and looked for him, and how many detours they took before they found him. What are your names? My name is Sun Yang, and my brother's name is Sun Fan. What about you adults? My mother left because she thought our family was poor. My father went out to work and never came back. My grandfather died early, so there were only 3 of us and my grandmother at home. Before the new year, my grandmother fell ill and was diagnosed with liver cancer. We had no money to treat her, so we could only come back and wait to die. Daejin felt upset when he heard this. 2 half-grown kids actually encountered such a thing. The 2 children's homes were quite far away. It took an hour to get there by riding a tricycle. It was in the north of the county town. We arrived in front of a dilapidated yard. There were only 3 small dilapidated bungalows. It looked like they were at least 30 or 40 years old. Half of the yard was buried under the road. The family must have been poor. Over the years, other people had built houses and raised the foundations and roadbeds, so the yard was buried. I pushed the door open and saw puddles all over the yard. It must be the water discharged from other people's homes that flowed onto the road and then into their homes. The house smelled like a garbage dump, and there were some cardboard boxes and other things piled in the yard. I pushed the door open and went in. I heard a weak voice humming twice, but I couldn't make out what it was saying. Grandma, we're back. Sun Yang took him into their house, where he saw a skinny old lady lying on a broken bed. When she heard the noise, she opened her eyes and looked at them. Xiao Yan, Xiao Fan, where have you been? Grandma, we've called a doctor. Big brother said he can cure cancer. Sun Yang looked at Daejin. Daejin hurried over and said, Grandma, I'm a doctor. I know a little bit about medicine. Let me take a look at you. The old lady groaned very weakly and shook her head vigorously, but didn't say anything. It was obvious that she was still very weak. He glanced at the table beside him and saw half a watermelon on it. Sun Yang said in a low voice with a sad face, we thought you were a liar. I was greedy and ate most of it. This is all that is left. He nodded, looking at the old lady's weak eyes that could not open, and not wanting to speak. He looked over with his divine eyes and saw that the cancer cells in the old lady's liver had spread, and the entire abdominal cavity was full of tumors, densely packed. The large ones were connected into one piece, and the small ones were also densely packed like pieces of rotten meat. He cut a piece of watermelon, picked out the seeds, and fed it to the old lady. Grandma, eat some watermelon first, I'll take a look at your body. The old lady slowly opened her mouth and took 2 bites reluctantly. Sun Yang on the side whispered, my grandma couldn't even drink water before. Today we squeezed the watermelon to feed her the juice. After eating this, my grandma has strength and can even speak a few words. He nodded and watched carefully as the watermelon entered his stomach. His stomach had not completely lost its function, and as it slowly moved and digested, there was no change in the tumors. Instead, the old lady seemed to be in better spirits. Thank you, young man. The old lady opened her eyes and looked at him. Her eyes were a little dazed, but she still forced herself to open her mouth. Grandma, how are you? Sun Yang walked over and asked with concern. The old lady reluctantly stretched out her hand and touched Sun Yang's hand. I'm much better. Daejin looked at it, and although he didn't see any changes in the tumor, he clearly felt that the old man was in better spirits. Could it be that the watermelon has the effect of boosting people's spirits? Chapter 17. Who is your son? He was moved. Although ordinary watermelons have certain effects, they are not that strong. Only the watermelons they grow have strong medicinal effects. Could it be that the things grown with his urine can enhance the efficacy of medicine? Thinking of this, he decided to go back and give it a try to see what might be more effective in treating cancer. After chatting with the old lady for a while, he stood up and called Sun Yang to the door. I have also seen your grandma's situation. How about this? You give the watermelon to your grandma first. I will go back and think of a solution. I will come again tomorrow and bring you 2 more watermelons. Thank you, brother. Sun Yang was about to kneel down again in gratitude. He hurriedly held her up. It's no big deal, it's just 2 melons. You take good care of grandma. If you have any problems, come to me. I will try my best to help you, and don't steal things again in the future. Yes, brother, I'll listen to you. Sun Yang nodded repeatedly. He rode his tricycle back, thinking about this matter in his mind, and sighing in his heart that there are so many miserable people in the world. When he returned to the front of the yard, he found a car parked at the door. Looking at the logo and license plate, it was a luxury car from another place. He was moved and rode his tricycle into their house. He saw the lights on in the house and heard voices coming from inside. When he walked in, he saw Boss Su Rong and his secretary sitting on a bench and talking to Liu Mei. Su Rong was still dressed the same as she was during the day, in a small suit. Her S-curve was so attractive that one could not take their eyes off her. However, it was obvious that she was still single, and she did not have the charm and gentleness of a wife like Liu Mei. However, in front of Su Rong, Liu Mei only had the charm of a wife, and all other aspects were suppressed. As soon as Liu Mei saw him, she stood up quickly. Da Zhen, you're finally back, Boss Su is waiting for you. He walked over with a smile. Boss Su, why are you here? Is it because my melon didn't achieve the expected effect, and you came to ask me for an explanation? He said this, but in his heart he was sure that his watermelon must have exceeded their expectations, so they came to him eagerly. Su Rong stood up and smiled slightly. Brother Dajin, right. I'll call you Dajin. Your watermelon is very good, and it really has the effect you said. I came to you to fulfill my promise. What promise? He laughed. We're collaborating. Hey, that's just a joke, don't take it seriously. Everything I said is true. Su Rong smiled slightly, but I would like to ask, how did you grow this watermelon? The effect is so strong. Boss Su, I'm telling you, our watermelons are grown using a secret recipe passed down from our ancestors, using a lot of Chinese medicinal herbs. They are also very difficult to grow, and you may not succeed once in 10 attempts. The investment is huge, and even if you succeed, you can only grow a few at a time, so we sell them at a high price. When the secretary heard this, he couldn't help but say, I see you have quite a lot of watermelons in your yard, at least hundreds of them. Har, this isn't because it's expensive. It's because I haven't sold any of them. I've been accumulating more and more of them. You're talking nonsense. Liu Mei just said that he didn't know how the watermelon grew. It was as if it appeared out of thin air. The secretary asked relentlessly. Sister Mai said this because she doesn't want people to know that we have a secret recipe. He laughed and said, how can something grow without you noticing? I told you that you believe it. The secretary was speechless, and he actually didn't believe it in his heart. Liu Mei on the side looked at Dajin in surprise. This guy didn't even prepare his lies, yet he was able to fool the big boss. Su Rong smiled and said, then can I ask, besides watermelon, can this secret recipe be used to grow anything else? I don't know. He spread his hands and said helplessly, Boss Su, you can see that our family is not very rich. This is the first time we try to grow watermelons, and we haven't tried anything else. Isn't this your ancestral secret recipe? They have never cultivated it. Da Zhen smiled bitterly. This secret recipe can be adjusted at any time, just like how Chinese medicine treats people. There are theories about how to treat different diseases. Even different crops use different fertilizers. When we grow these things, the secret recipe must be different. There are other secret recipes, but I haven't tried them yet. Oh, so that's the case. Su Rong nodded. What he said made sense. Then can you sell these secret recipes? If so, I can offer a high price. No. Dajin said flatly, the secret recipe is passed down from my ancestors and is passed down to men, not women. If you want to take the secret recipe from me, you have to be my son. The secretary said angrily, what nonsense are you talking about? Who is your son? Look at what you said, my son is my son. Dajin smiled. Su Rong did not bother with the ambiguity in his words and said with a smile. If you don't want to sell me the secret recipe, then we can only talk about cooperation. To be honest, I am a relatively powerful drug dealer in our province. I have some experience in the field of medicinal materials. I also have several planting bases for Chinese medicinal materials. However, in our age, medicinal materials are quickly grown with fertilizers and the efficacy is quite different from the old Chinese medicine. I think if your secret recipe can be used in this regard, it may be effective. So, I think we can cooperate. I just don't know if you have any secret recipes for cultivating Chinese medicinal materials. Well, yes, I do. He hesitated. He was just guessing that his urine might have had an effect, and he was not sure yet, so he did not dare to speak out. I just happen to have some medicine left here. Do you have any Panax noto ginseng seeds or live seedlings? Sanchi? What do you want this for? Da Gen asked on their way back that Panax noto ginseng has a certain effect on fighting cancer. He told Sun Yang that he would go there again next day just to try and see if he could grow some of this kind of Chinese medicinal materials to cure the old lady. But it was a hassle to get some live seedlings or seeds of anti-cancer herbs such as Panax noto ginseng. Just when he was worrying about it, Su Rong happened to be a drug dealer and took the opportunity to make a request. No big deal. The little bit of liquid medicine I have left is just enough to grow herbs like Panax noto ginseng. Is that so? Su Rong had no doubt. Yes, it just so happens that our nearest base has one. I'll have someone send it to you. It'd be better to send it tonight. It's just like a shelf life. If you leave it for too long, it will become ineffective. Okay. Su Rong immediately took out his phone and called, then turned around and said, "It will be delivered within 3 hours." Okay. Daejin laughed. Well, let's wait for the test results. If it works, we can continue to discuss it in depth. If it doesn't work, I can continue to provide the materials you need and ask you to test it. Su Rong took out his business card and handed it over. This is my business card. Daejin took it with both hands. Okay, I'll try my best. Okay, we'll be leaving first. Tilde we might go back tomorrow. If you have anything, just call us. Chapter 18 Kill me if you can. Aren't you planning to set up a planting base here? He knew that Su Rong was here to investigate the planting base. It's not ideal at the moment, but it can be considered an unexpected surprise. If you succeed in cultivating the herbs, I will set up a planting base here. Su Rong looked at him deeply, turned around and walked outside. After seeing Su Rong off, Liu Mei hurriedly snatched the business card and turned it over and over in her hands, making a clicking sound. The business cards of these big bosses are so different, so exquisite. Su Rong, this name sounds nice. After all, he is a big boss, so he must make it better. Otherwise, it will be embarrassing to give it to other big bosses. I heard that some big bosses' business cards are simply made of gold, and one business card costs hundreds of dollars. These rich people are so extravagant. Liu Mei put the name card away and turned to look at him. Why did you tell people that you raised this child? What if they find out that you lied to them and get angry and beat us up? No, I think this land of ours is a good place for feng shui. Whatever you plant will grow. Just give it a try and you'll know. I didn't say it will definitely work. Liu Mei thought about it and agreed. She would know if she tried. At worst, she could just say it didn't work. She had already said it in advance, so there was no need to be afraid. You are the only one with so many clever ideas. Liu Mei looked at him. After this guy recovered, his brain worked better than others and he was braver too. What's more, he was still so handsome and strong. Liu Mei's eyes were looking back and forth at him, becoming more and more angry. He saw it and said hurriedly, "Sister Mei, it's getting late, you don't have to wait, I'll just wait for them to send it over." As he said this he rushed out in a hurry. Seeing him hiding from her, Liu Mei angrily pounded the bed. "No, this guy, I will never let you escape from my palm, humph." Da Gen hid in the yard, took a watermelon and ate it while waiting. 3 hours later, someone knocked on the door as expected. He went to open the door. The other party verified his identity information and handed him a dozen Panax noto ginseng seedlings. He took the seedlings and immediately returned to the yard, planted them all, collected some urine in a urine bucket, and watered half of the Panax noto ginseng on them, to test whether it was really his urine that caused the problem. After finishing all these, he returned to bed, fanned himself and fell into a drowsy sleep. He got up early the next morning and went to the yard. Sure enough, he saw that the Panax noto ginseng in the yard had fully grown, and the lush leaves looked tender green. However, only the Panax noto ginseng seedlings that he had watered had grown. The other Panax noto ginseng seedlings that had not been watered were wilted and looked malnourished, as if they would die at any time. And not only Panax noto ginseng, but also those watermelon seeds he buried yesterday have all grown. Green vines are growing all over the ground. The watermelons as big as basketballs are green and lush. There is even a fresh fragrance of fruits and melons in the yard. Hey, it's true. He rushed over in surprise, picked up a watermelon and patted it. It was ripe. He ran to the front of Panax noto ginseng again, pulled it up with its roots, and brought out a rhizome that looked like ginger. He found a small piece and put it in his mouth. A refreshing, crisp and bitter taste spread. It was so unpalatable that he frowned, but soon his brows relaxed. The bitter taste slowly disappeared as he chewed, and it actually began to taste sweet and was not so unpalatable anymore. Except for the first bite, the rest is pretty delicious. He took one, but he didn't know how effective it was. Sanchi has the effects of promoting blood circulation and removing blood stasis, regulating blood sugar and blood lipids, and whitening the skin. It is also effective for cancer. I hope it can help Sun Yang. He hurriedly pulled out all the Panax noto ginseng, put them in a pocket, and planned to give them to Sun Yang when he had time. At this moment, Liu Mei also woke up. She came to the yard and saw the watermelons all over the yard. She exclaimed in surprise, "Why are there so many watermelons growing again?" "Hey, Sister Mai, I planted the watermelon seeds you spit out yesterday in the field, and this much watermelon grew." When Liu Mei heard this, she ran over in surprise, picked up the watermelon and looked at it carefully. "I didn't expect that this place is really a good place for feng shui. It's just like you said, whatever I plant will grow. Where are those Panax noto ginseng? I pulled them all out. I have a use for these things." "Oh, okay." After what happened yesterday, Liu Mei had more confidence in Daijin. She no longer cared how he used these things. As long as he could make money in the end, it was fine. He ran to the kitchen, cooked a meal, and ate it with Liu Mei. He picked all the watermelons in the yard and put them away. He got on his tricycle and told Liu Mei that he was going out to do something, and then went straight to Sun Yang's house. Sun Yang's home was a little far away, and even though sparks came out of his pedals, it still took him an hour. When he arrived at Sun Yang's house, he saw a group of people gathered at the door and heard a lot of noise coming from inside. He parked the tricycle aside and rushed in, only to see Sun Yang lying on the ground with a bruised face and nose. Sun Fan knelt on the ground and sobbed. In front of them, 5 strong men stood there holding shovels and hoes and cursed, "Fuck you, you have no shame. I told you nicely that I would not agree, but you forced me to use violence. Sun Yang, let me ask you one last question. Will you agree to it?" Sun Yang lay on the ground, gritting his teeth and said, "If you don't agree, kill me if you dare." "Fuck, you're still getting excited, aren't you? What? Do you think I dare not kill you?" The man called Lao Yang picked up the shovel and smashed it on Sun Yang's leg. "Stop!" Daijin shouted hurriedly, but it was too late. The other party hit him with a shovel, and Sun Yang rolled on the ground in pain, screaming. He rushed out and stood in front of Sun Yang, looking at Lao Yang angrily and said, "Why can't you just talk it out calmly? Why are you hitting me? Who the hell are you, tiger? You're so nosy. Who are you?" He ignored him, turned around, squatted down and supported Sun Yang. "What's wrong with you?" "I'm fine, big brother, it's none of your business, don't worry about it, I can handle it." Sun Yang gritted his teeth and endured the pain and whispered, "Brother, please help me heal my grandmother. I will be very grateful." "What can you do? You're only a teenager. Tell me, did you take someone's things?" "No." Sun Yang said hurriedly, "I promised my eldest brother that I would never take anything from others again. They wanted to build a house and they thought the land was too small, so they said that we occupied their homestead when we built the house before, and they wanted us to tear down the wall and move 2 meters inward. I didn't agree, so they beat me." After listening to this, Da Zhen couldn't help but look back at the other party. This guy was just being unreasonable and demanding money, and he even hit people. "You little bastard, my grandfather has already told us that your family relied on your wealth to extort 2 meters of piles from us. We don't want more now. Just give us back the 2 meters you took from us. Don't be ungrateful. You're talking nonsense. This is our home. I won't give an inch, or you'll beat me to death." Sun Yang yelled at Lao Yang like an angry little cheater. "Fuck you, you still dare to be stubborn. Lao Yang rushed over and wanted to continue fighting. Dajin stood up and grabbed the shovel that Lao Yang was swinging at him. He was very strong, and the shovel seemed to have taken root in his hand. No matter how hard Lao Yang tried, he couldn't pull it out. Seeing that his face was getting red, he suddenly let go. Lao Yang was caught off guard and the shovel was suddenly raised up, almost hitting him in the face. He staggered back 2 steps and sat on the ground. Chapter 19: Bullying Orphans and Widows. Puff. The people watching on the side couldn't help but laugh. Old Yang got up from the ground in anger, pointed at Da Zhen and cursed, "Where did you come from, you bastard? Do you want to die?" Da Zhen ignored him and helped Sun Yang up. "You go in first, leave this to me." "No, big brother." Sun Yang stood there stubbornly. "This is my family's business, how can I leave?" He did not persuade them, but turned back to look at Lao Yang and the others. Everything should be based on reason. "You said your grandfather said that Sun Yang's family occupied your land. Show us the evidence and we will do what we should do. If you have no evidence and insist on blackmailing people, I will not agree. Where did you come from, you little brat? Why do you care about our village's affairs? Get out of here right now. I will either beat you or I will kill you. If you want to fight, just come." He looked at these people and said calmly, "You know what's going on at Sun Yang's home. The old lady is already in such a state, but the people in the village don't offer any help. Now they are taking advantage of the fact that no one is at home to blackmail her. What kind of thing is this? Every family has had disasters and illnesses. Aren't you afraid that others will treat you the same way in the future?" He turned to look at the onlookers and shouted, "Now you are standing aside and watching the joke. If you encounter the same thing in the future, who will cheer you on and help you get justice?" When the people around heard this, their faces looked a little unhappy. Yes, the Yang family is so dishonest, bullying orphans and widows. Sun Yang's family is also pitiful. Such a thing happened. When old Yang listened, his face turned red with anger. He looked at the person next to him with a fierce look, and without saying a word, he took the shovel and smashed it on Dajin's head. Da Zhen had been on guard for a long time. Seeing the attack coming, he immediately dodged and grabbed the shovel at the same time. Seeing the other man's hoe coming down, he held the shovel in his hand horizontally to block it in front of him. Bang! The handle of the hoe was broken, and he grabbed the end of the shovel and pushed it back with all his strength. Lao Yang couldn't hold it, and the shovel handle hit his chest hard. He sat down on the ground in pain, holding his chest and unable to breathe. The other 2 men also came over to attack. Dajin swung his shovel quickly, and it collided with the other man's shovel, breaking it immediately. The 2 men were so scared that they retreated one after another. He strode over, grabbed one man's hand with one hand and the other man's waist with the other hand, and actually lifted the man over his head and threw him towards the other man. The 2 of them bumped into each other and fell to the ground, unable to stand up due to the pain. Who else is dissatisfied? He stood in front of Sun Yang like a door god, looking at them and shouting, "If I find you bullying Sun Yang's family again, I will not forgive you." He turned his head and looked at the crowd. "Everyone, I know that you are all kind people, and Sun Yang is also a filial child. I like him very much. I plan to take him out to work for me in the future. I hope that everyone can help Sun Yang when he needs help. He will definitely repay everyone in the future. My phone number is 13521XXXXXX. If there is anything in the next few days, I hope everyone can call me in time. I thank you on behalf of Sun Yang." The people around were already fed up with the Yang family's behavior, and after hearing what he said, they thought it made sense, and nodded, saying that they would call him first if anything happened. "Thank you, everyone," he said, and pulled Sun Yang back home. Sun Yang's eyes were red. "Brother, thank you, you helped me again. From now on, my life belongs to you, brother. Why are you saying this? It makes me look like a gangster." He laughed and patted Sun Yang on the head. "Okay, I'll get the medicine, and you can get the garlic mortar here. Young man, thank you. Thank you, you saved our family." The old lady was lying in bed, unable to get up, crawling weakly, with tears in the corners of her eyes. "I like Sun Yang very much, and it's my duty to help him." He laughed. "Don't get excited yet. I have a recipe for curing cancer, which is quite effective. Let's take the medicine first. When he recovers, you can take care of Sun Yang, and he won't be bullied by others." The old lady nodded with tears in her eyes. Sun Yang quickly ran to the kitchen and got the garlic mortar. He knew that the old lady could not eat hard food, so he put the Panax noto ginseng into the garlic mortar and mashed it into a paste. He scooped out a little with chopsticks and put it into the old lady's mouth. The old lady also took a few mouthfuls. He didn't know how strong the medicine was, so he didn't dare ask her to eat more. He stopped and looked at the tumors in the old lady's stomach with his divine eyes. After a few minutes, he slowly discovered that the small tumors had actually subsided a little, although the speed was very slow. There was an effect and the direction was correct. He looked at all this in surprise. It seems that this method is really effective. As long as he keeps taking it, at the current rate, the tumors will disappear in a month or two. Grandma, how do you feel? Sun Yang asked. I feel warm. The old lady's voice was still weak, but she looked obviously in better spirits than before. Great! Sun Yang shouted excitedly, thank you, brother. Hey, why thank me? He waved his hands and said, just be filial to your grandma in the future. The old lady suddenly grabbed his hand and said with tears in her eyes, young man, you are a good person. I just heard you say that you want to take Xiao Yang to work with you in the future. He glanced at Sun Yang, thought for a moment and said, I do have this plan. I'm going to do something, and I'm in need of a few people who know me well to help me. Let Xiao Yang go, and Xiao Fan as well. Although Xiao Fan is young, he is sensible and can endure hardships. He is definitely no worse than an adult. There's no rush. Xiao Fan is still young and it's time for him to go to school. How can he drop out of school to do this? Let him go. Our family doesn't have much money, so how can we afford to send him to school? It's enough for him to have food to eat and grow up safely. Even if I die, I will be able to face his father, his grandfather in the afterlife. Da Zhen listened and frowned. He didn't know that the old lady had said something wrong just now. Did she mean that Sun Yang's father was dead? He didn't ask, but smiled and said, I will cure your illness and won't kill you. You still have to watch her grow up and get married. The old lady smiled bitterly. She didn't have much hope for her own illness. She would be satisfied if she could live a few more days and watch her grandson grow up. But I promise you, if anything happens, I will take them with me. Thank you. The old lady thanked repeatedly in surprise. Xiao Yang, Xiao Fan, both of you quickly kneel down and kowtow to your benefactor. Upon hearing this, Sun Yang and Sun Fan knelt down straight and said, thank you, brother. Da Zhen hurriedly helped them up, just be filial to your grandma in the future. I have something else to do. Tell your grandma to eat these Panax noto ginseng I brought twice a day. Remember to crush them. Your grandma can't chew the hard ones now. Yes, big brother. No, no need. The old lady said hurriedly, young man, ask Sun Yang to go with you. Just let Xiao Fan stay at home and let Sun Yang go to work with you. Chapter 20 Do you like me? He knew what the old lady meant and was afraid that he would not keep his word, so she asked Sun Yang to follow him and finalize the matter first. No, I still need a few days to get here. Ask him to take care of you at home first. After 2 days, when I'm done here, I'll ask Sun Yang to come over right away. Okay. The old lady sighed. She was tired after saying so much and lay there gasping for breath. He greeted Sun Yang and turned to leave. When I rode the tricycle back home, I saw a woman in a long floral dress standing at the door chatting with Liu Mei. The woman looked quite smart, with an oval face. Although she was not very pretty, she was the type that was pleasing to the eye. He walked over and looked at the other person, feeling that he looked familiar, as if he had seen him before. Oh, you're finally back. The woman giggled, I've been waiting for you for a long time. He looked at Liu Mei, who said hurriedly, this is Director Zhang Huan from our county office. She came here specifically to see you. When he heard this, he remembered that Zhang Huan seemed to be among those leaders at the China Merchants Hotel yesterday. It's Director Zhang. I'm forgetful. He said with a smile, Director Zhang, what do you want to talk to me about? I came to ask you about watermelons. The leaders didn't want the 2 watermelons yesterday, so I got them for free. I went back and ate them. I was really surprised. This watermelon really has the effects you said. Not only is it delicious, it can also remove spots. Look at my face. Zhang Huan pointed at her face and said, I was less than 40 years old, and I had age spots on my face. But now, they are much lighter, right? Da Jen took a closer look and found that there were only faint age spots. If you don't look carefully, you can't really see them. Director Zhang is really worried about the development of our county. He is so young, but he has age spots. Zhang Huan chuckled and said, "You are really good at talking. The work in the county is really busy. I am not home for several days. In the past few years, there have been a series of things. Now my endocrine system is out of balance. But after eating your watermelon, I feel much better and energetic." I reported it to the leader, and the leader also thought it was amazing. He didn't believe me and asked me to take the rest to them to try. But they didn't have the chance to enjoy it. We ate it all. Zhang Huan's carefree personality is quite likable. I'll come over and buy 2 more for the leaders to taste. If they are good, I'll tell the leaders that we can make it a specialty of our county and make it a special supply for entertaining VIPs and superiors. In this way, you won't have to worry about selling your goods. Oh, thank you so much, Director Zhang. He didn't expect there would be such an unexpected surprise. If he could get through this line, at least the sales of watermelons would be guaranteed in the future, and he could also make some money. Har, it's nothing, just a word. Zhang Huan said with a smile, "I've been out for quite some time, get me 2 melons first, I'll take them back to the leader quickly, don't make him wait anxiously." Okay. He hurried to the yard, took 3 plastic bags, put 3 watermelons in them and ran out to hand them to Zhang Huan. "Director Zhang, we are old farmers, we really don't have anything to thank you for. Here are 3 watermelons, 2 for the leaders to taste, and 1 for you to keep for your family to taste." Zhang Huan took it with surprise. How can I be so embarrassed? This is what I should do. Please don't be polite to me. I will need your help a lot in the future. Zhang Huan smiled and said, "Thank you. I'll pay you whatever the amount is. Give me 1,000. Wang Zhen said with a smile. Not counting the one for Zhang Huaner, 1 watermelon weighs at least 13 or 14 pounds and costs 1,000 yuan, and that's with a discount. Zhang Huan didn't say much and paid the money directly. "Please write down my number. Although I am just a small director and have no power, I still have a say in some places. Call me if you have any problems." "Okay, thank you, Director Zhang." He asked Liu Mei to write down the phone number, helped put the watermelons in the car, and watched Zhang Huan leave. Liu Mei held her phone and looked at the extra 1,000 yuan on it and said happily, "We've made money, Dajin, we've made money. Don't worry, there will be many ways to make money in the future. This is just the beginning. Show off." Liu Mei rolled her eyes at him. In her heart, she felt that the man in front of her was becoming more and more interesting. Not only was he capable of working, but he was also versatile and able to make money. She couldn't stop herself from wanting him. "What do you want to eat for lunch? I'll make it for you as a reward. Eat some meat." He licked his lips. "I haven't eaten meat for a long time. I don't even know what it tastes like." "Okay, I'll buy you a roast chicken and stir-fry 2 meat dishes for you, okay?" "Thank you, Sister Mai." He chuckled. "Don't be happy too soon. We have to water the fields this afternoon. Not only ours, but also my parents-in-law's 5 acres of land." Okay." He shook his head helplessly. It would be deadly to water the fields in such hot weather. "By the way, your 37 species has come out. Have you told Boss Su about it?" No rush. What's the matter? If you don't tell me quickly, I'm waiting for you." "It's okay. Tell them to wait. If they wait impatiently, it will make us feel that it's not easy for us. Then we will know how precious this thing is. If there is any cooperation, we can raise the price. You have so many clever ideas. I admire you." Liu Mei giggled, told him to go into their house to enjoy the air conditioning, and went to buy roast chicken and meat. There was rarely any meat in the lunch, so he devoured it in no time, finishing most of the roast chicken and leaving nothing on the 2 plates of vegetables. After he was done, he went to the air-conditioned room, enjoying the cool air and the peace of mind and body. Liu Mei sat beside him, looking at him who was sleeping soundly, and swallowed her saliva. She felt that she was lucky in her life to have such a man. Even though this guy was sober and smart now, she didn't know what he meant by avoiding her all the time. Did he look down on her? Liu Mei felt a sense of crisis. She had to confirm the relationship quickly. She couldn't let go of a man like this, otherwise she would regret it for the rest of her life. As she thought about it, she slowly moved closer and reached out to touch Daejin's face. Daejin felt someone touching his face in his sleep. He opened his eyes suddenly and saw Liu Mei half lying on him, looking at him shyly, timidly and tenderly. He hurriedly tried to get up. Sister Mai, what are you doing? Liu Mei stared at him with burning eyes. Daejin, what do you think of Sister Mai? It's pretty good. So do you like me? Sister Mai, He didn't know what to say. He felt very close to Liu Mei in his heart, but he also knew that it was not love. However, if he said it directly, it would be too hurtful. No matter what you think, Xiao Mai. The voice of Liu Mei's father-in-law Zhao Defu came from outside. Your father-in-law is here. He got up quickly and opened the door, feeling relieved. Liu Mei looked at his back somewhat unwillingly, but had no choice but to stand up. Chapter 21, Trafficked. Daejin opened the door and saw Zhao Defu and Liu Sanqin standing at the door. He smiled and said, Uncle, Aunt, you are here. Zhao Defu grinned and said honestly, Daejin, I heard that you have recovered. Your aunt and I are very happy. Thank you, Uncle. It was also my luck that I recovered. I didn't expect it. He laughed. Sister Mai told me. I will go with you to water the fields. Okay, let's go together. Liu Mei also came over from behind with some things, and the four of them went down to the ground together. Their land was quite far from the village, more than 3 miles away. When they arrived at the field in the hottest day, Zhao Defu skillfully opened the bag and filled it with water. He followed behind, straightened the bag and put it in the field. The field was full of corn. He went inside and felt stuffy, humid and hot. In just a few minutes, he was sweating all over. His clothes were soaked and stuck to his body, making him feel very uncomfortable. It took him an entire afternoon to finish watering the 5 acres of land. When he returned home, he felt like he was going to have a heat stroke. His whole body was hot. He lay in the air-conditioned room and enjoyed the life-saving cool air for a while before he felt a little better. Sister Mai, please earn some more money and install an air conditioner in my room. It's too hot this summer and I can't stand it, he muttered. Why waste that money? It's not like I won't let you sleep in my room. You just want to suffer for yourself. Who can you blame? Liu Mei couldn't stand the heat either, so she took off her coat and only wore a small suspender top, which was very frightening to look at, especially the 2 suspenders. They were just thin ropes, and they were hanging with 2 burdens, as if they would collapse and break at any time. Daejin took a guilty look at it and quickly changed the subject. Sister Mai, please buy me a mobile phone too, otherwise I will be selling this thing and others won't be able to transfer money to me. What are you thinking about? Liu Mei glared at him. Have you forgotten that you are an illegal resident? Even if I buy you a phone, can you register it? Can you bind a card? When he heard this, he slapped his forehead speechlessly, having forgotten about this matter. Really, what should he do? How about I go to the police station and ask about it this afternoon? Liu Mei thought about it and it seemed that there was no good solution. Besides, Daejin was abducted as a child and he didn't do anything shameful. He finally escaped, so he should be given a household registration. Okay, go ask. Du Wenjing sat in the room, holding 2 comparison photos in her hand, feeling worried. After the 2 men ran away, there has been no news since then. Her master, the leader of Yudong, called the provincial police and asked them to assist in the investigation and to find the men. However, it has been 3 days and there is still no news. She has been doing this for a long time and knows that when chasing someone, the probability of finding clues is high in the first 3 days. Once 3 days have passed, the case will basically be delayed for a while. However, she can wait, but her master can't. The master has been looking for the child for so many years and now finally has a clue. She calls her almost twice a day, asking her if she has found the child. She was promoted by the master, and if she doesn't do a good job, she will not be able to face the master again. Where can you run to? My little grandfather, please come out soon. If you don't come out, my phone will be blown up. Hey! In the afternoon, Daejin ran to the town police station under the scorching sun. I found the household registration office, walked in, and saw a female police officer sitting there drinking tea. Hello, I want to consult you about something. The policewoman seemed to have just started working. Her face was still covered with freckles. Although she had freckles, she was pretty and her eyes still had the stupid clarity of a college student. When she heard the voice, she looked up at him in confusion. Hello, what do you want to ask? Oh, I want to ask, what do we need to do to get a household registration for illegal residents here? Illegal household. The policewoman thought for a moment and said awkwardly, wait a minute, let me look through my notes. I just got to work and took my teacher to a meeting. I won't be back for a while. Okay, thank you. He sat on a chair in front of the counter and watched the other person take out his notebook and flip through it carefully. After a long time, he looked up at him a little embarrassedly. Sorry, I can't find it. Okay, when will your teacher be back? I don't know, but he went to the county for a meeting. It would take him at least 2 hours to come back. 2 hours. He looked at the time helplessly. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When he got back, it would be 5 o'clock, and it would be almost time to get off work. Why don't you tell me and leave me your phone number? When master comes back, I'll call you after asking for your permission and tell you what materials you need to get before you come over. Okay, thank you. He thought for a moment and said, it's like this, I was kidnapped by human traffickers when I was a kid. You were abducted by human traffickers. The policewoman looked at him in shock. How did you get abducted? I don't know either. Maybe my stupid parents accidentally kidnapped me. Anyway, I just escaped recently. But I don't remember where my home is. I came here and found it's pretty good here. I made a few friends and planned to settle down here, but I don't know what procedures are required. Tell me, were you sold after being abducted? The policewoman asked him, becoming interested. No, they didn't sell me, but they controlled me and made me beg on the street. I was young at that time, probably only 4 or 5 years old. I didn't dare to run away, and I didn't know how to run away. Anyway, they controlled me every day and asked me to beg for money. People saw that I was young and felt sorry for me, so they gave me money. Sometimes I begged more and they were in a good mood, so they gave me some leftovers. Sometimes I begged less and they were unhappy. Not to mention leftovers, they didn't even give me water, and I was beaten. So pitiful. These human traffickers are so despicable. Did you run away when you grew up? Run, why not? He sighed, I remember them most clearly. Several of us who were controlled planned to escape, but someone leaked our plan, and then we were severely beaten. I remember that one of the people who was beaten vomited blood on the spot. Several of us were also beaten so hard that we couldn't get out of bed for several days. The one who informed on us got a delicious meal, and he ate while watching us being beaten. I remember it very clearly. The person who informed on the case is so despicable. He deserves to die. The policewoman frowned angrily. Yeah, so later we found an opportunity and beat him up so badly that he even broke his bones. Yes, that's how it should be. He didn't dare to run away and even informed on you, so you couldn't run away either. People like this should be beaten. What happened next? Chapter 22 How dare you take revenge? He told the policewoman about his experience. Later, as he got older, the other party was harder to control and their control became stricter. The other party began to think of ways to change their methods and asked them to set up stalls to earn money. He was assigned to sell fried skewers. He also tried to ask for help when he was setting up his stall, but was discovered by the other party and beaten up when he got home. The other party also realized that it was not a solution to be on guard against them every day, and if they continued, they would easily be targeted by the police. So they became angry and sold them to several illegal coal mines. That was a real life without sunlight. They worked more than 10 hours a day. The cave was stuffy, hot and dangerous. If they were not careful, something could happen. He saw several people being buried in the cave with his own eyes, and was so scared that he had nightmares for several days. In the illegal coal mines, they were fed with leftovers every day, and there were people watching them specifically, not giving them any chance to escape. A few people escaped, but after being caught, their legs were broken as a warning to them. Those with broken legs could not run away, and were thrown into the ravine to feed the wolves. The despair of waiting to die is the real despair. Later, he finally found an opportunity. Several shareholders of the illegal coal mine were fighting each other because of the uneven distribution of the spoils. Several of them who were working found the opportunity and tried their best to escape. But when he was escaping, he was hit on the head with a stick. After he managed to run outside, he fainted. He didn't tell her that he had become stupid. The policewoman was horrified when she heard it, but she also felt sorry for him. Her eyes turned red and she actually cried. "You are so pitiful. Fortunately, God has mercy on you and let you escape. I am lucky. I managed to escape. Many people did not escape and I don't know what happened to them now." He sighed, "It's just that I don't have an identity card now. I can't do any work. That's why I want to settle down here and get an ID card." The policewoman wiped her tears, nodded vigorously and said, "Don't worry, I will definitely help you. When the teacher comes back, I will ask you carefully, and then I will call you and tell you what materials are needed. When you are ready, bring them together and I will help you." "Okay, thank you." He thanked her. It was almost 4 o'clock, and he probably couldn't wait for anyone, so he came out of the household registration office and went back. He passed by Liu Mei's field, looked at the tall corn, and wondered what to do next. Now it is clear that his urine has a very good effect. It can ripen those plants and increase the medicinal effect of the plants several times. However, it is not enough to rely on the small piece of land at home. We have to expand the scale and explore carefully to see if it can be turned into other things besides urine. We can't just pee every day. Just as he was thinking about it, suddenly more than 10 people rushed out from the cornfield next to him, each holding a sickle, hoe, stick and so on, and started attacking him without saying a word. He immediately spotted a familiar figure in the crowd. It was Zhao Dehai. He guessed immediately that Zhao Dehai must be unwilling to accept being beaten by him last time and had sent someone to seek revenge on him. Before he could think much, a bald man with a stick rushed up to him and swung the stick down at him. He quickly turned his body to the side, then grabbed the man's wrist and twisted it hard. The bald man screamed and the stick fell. At this moment, other people had also rushed over and hit him with things in their hands. He grabbed the bald man by the collar and pulled him in front of him. All the sticks and other things immediately fell on the bald man. The bald man screamed in pain and twisted his body. "Zhao Dehai, you dare to retaliate!" He became angry and thought that these people were going to kill him. He bent down, grabbed the bald man's legs, lifted him upside down, and then swung him up with both hands. The bald man only felt the whirring sound of the wind blowing past his ears. The scenery in front of him changed rapidly, and the blood in his body kept rushing to his head. He was extremely panicked and shouted loudly, "Don't move, get out of my way, ouch, damn it, who the hell hit me, it hurts so much." Dai grabbed the bald man's ankles and used him as a weapon, swinging him around while chasing after those people. These people had never seen such a scene before. It took a lot of strength to use a person as a weapon. They wanted to hit him, but instead hit the bald man several times. "Brothers, use something to hit him. I don't believe that we can't take him down with so many people." Zhao Dehai yelled and took the lead in throwing the wooden stick in his hand towards Wang Zhen. When the others heard this, they threw away their weapons. Zhen dodged hurriedly, but didn't avoid it completely, and was hit by a shovel. Fortunately, his physical fitness was much better than that of ordinary people, so he didn't feel much pain. However, as a result, those people threw away all their weapons, leaving them empty-handed, and chased him all over the place. Seeing that these people had no weapons, he threw the bald man out. The bald man flew 2 or 3 meters and fell to the ground. He struggled to get up, but everything he saw was spinning in front of him, and his brain seemed to be turned into a paste. He could not even stand up and lay on the ground, dizzy and retching. After throwing the bald man away, he immediately increased his speed, ran a few steps, jumped up more than 1 meter high, put his legs together, and kicked someone in the chest. The man groaned, fell to the ground headfirst, and fainted. He showed no mercy. He fell to the ground, grabbed a man's neck with his backhand, pressed him to the ground, and hit him on the chest. The man rolled on the ground holding his chest in pain, and it was unknown whether his ribs were broken. The others never expected that Wang Zhen would be so ferocious. He knocked down 3 people so quickly. They were all from the village. Although they could act recklessly when they got together, no one wanted to get hurt when they really fought. Seeing how ferocious Wang Zhen was, several people hid in the cornfield and disappeared. He stood up and wanted to continue fighting, but found that everyone had dispersed. Only 2 or 3 people were still standing there watching from afar, and they didn't dare to come up. He turned his head and stared at Zhao Dehai, who was standing there, not knowing what to do, grinned, and strode over. Zhao Dehai didn't expect that more than a dozen of them couldn't beat Zhen alone. Seeing Zhen rushing towards him, he turned around and ran away in fear. Zhao Dahai, I spared you last time, but I didn't expect you to dare come here to die. He roared, quickly chased after Zhao Dahai, grabbed the clothes on his back, pulled him back and threw him to the ground, then strided over him and punched him desperately. Zhao Dahai protected his head with both hands, feeling punched all over his body and screaming in pain. Chapter 23 I'll kill you. Da Zhen, please stop hitting me. I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. Ouch, it hurts. Da Zhen, Dad, Grandpa, please forgive me. Da Zhen punched Zhao Dahai twice more fiercely, causing him to roll back and forth on the ground, groaning and groaning. You bastard, if you don't want to live, just tell me and I'll kill you. He grabbed Zhao Dahai by the collar and lifted him up, then approached him and said harshly, I'll teach you a lesson this time. As he said this, he picked up a wooden stick from the side and stabbed the other person's thigh with it. Arr! Zhao Dahai opened his eyes wide, let out a terrible scream, and his whole body twitched in pain. If you do it again, I'll kill you. He threw Zhao Dahai to the ground and walked towards the village without looking back. The few people Zhao Dahai brought with him sneaked out of the cornfield behind him. After watching him walk away, they dared to rush up to help Zhao Dahai up, and then carried him on their backs and quickly headed towards the town. When Da Zhen returned home, Liu Mei was like a young wife at home. When she saw him, she hurried over and asked with a smile, Why did you come back just now? Did you say hello? No one was there. There was only one student there. I didn't know what to do. I waited for a while, but came back when I didn't see him. Is that so? Liu Mei said, I have a classmate who works in the county bureau, but I haven't contacted him for many years. I don't know if he still recognizes me. I'll call him tomorrow to ask. No need, that girl is very kind. She said she would ask for me when her teacher comes back. I left your phone number and she will call you when the time comes. Is that so? Okay, let's wait. As she was talking, Liu Mei's phone rang. She picked it up and saw that it was a local number she didn't know. She answered and heard the other end say, Hello, I'm Xu Yi from the police station in our town. Is this Dajan's number? Yes, he just came back. I'll give him the phone. Liu Mei hurriedly put the phone into Dajan's hand. Dajan took it and said with a smile, Hello, police comrade, I am Dajan. Da Zhen, hello. The teacher just came back and I told her about it. She said that your case is quite rare and the process is quite complicated. You need to come to the station and explain it in detail. Then we need to check if you have a criminal record. We also need to ask your hometown to issue a case filing certificate proving that you were abducted and sold. But I said, you don't know where your home is and you escaped by yourself, so you don't need to provide this. And if you want to settle down here, you also need to provide. Xu Yi talked about a lot of materials, which were not difficult to obtain. He thanked him and hung up the phone. At the same time, Liu Mei happily held his hand and said, That's great. Our village needs to issue a certificate to allow you to settle down, and we also need to issue a certificate that you are relying on me. I will do it tomorrow. When everything is ready, you can settle down. By then, you will be a person with an identity. Yes. He was also very happy in his heart. He didn't think much of it when he was a fool before, but now he realized that he could not do anything without an ID card. Fortunately, there was hope of settling down. I'll cook 2 dishes this afternoon. Before Liu Mei finished speaking, she saw a police car parked in front of their house. 2 policemen got out of the car. They were so scared that their faces turned pale. They grabbed Da Zhen and said, Oh no. Could something have happened to Hu Dadong? The police are here. Da Zhen looked back and realized that they were looking for him, so he didn't panic and said with a smile, Looking for me. On the way, I met Zhao Dahai and his men who came to attack me and take revenge on me. I beat them up quite badly. Maybe they called the police. Zhao Dahai, is it him? Liu Mei breathed a sigh of relief when she heard that it was not Hu Dadong's fault. Then she frowned and cursed, It's that bastard again. He dared to retaliate against you. You shouldn't have let him off last time. Who is Dajan? 2 policemen came over and looked at him. It's me, he said. You're looking for me. Someone called the police and reported you for assaulting someone. Come with us to the police station now. Okay. He did not resist and said to Liu Mei, "Don't worry, it's not serious, it's okay." How could Liu Mei not be worried? She walked over to stop the two policemen and said, "It was Zhao Dehai who was seeking revenge against us. When he failed, he asked us to beat him up. Why are you arresting us instead of the perpetrator? We will investigate it thoroughly. Please get out of the way and don't obstruct our investigation." Da Zhen went up to stop Liu Mei. "It's okay, Sister Mai, I'll go with them." "But..." Liu Mei shouted anxiously. Da Zhen followed the two policemen into the car and waved to Liu Mei, signaling him not to worry. When he got to the police station, as soon as he got off the car, he saw the policewoman Xu Yi who had consulted him that afternoon, pushing her electric bike and getting ready to go off work. When she saw that she was sent over, she was stunned for a moment, then hurried over to ask, "What's wrong with you? Did you lie to me this afternoon and get caught? Are you a fugitive, deliberately deceiving me?" Da Zhen couldn't help but laugh at the girl's trick and quickly explained. "No, what I told you is true. I was not brought here because of this. I was on my way back from your place this afternoon, but I met someone on the way who wanted to beat me up. I beat him up and he called the police and said I beat him up, so I was brought here for questioning. Is that so? Fortunately, you didn't lie to me." Xu Yi pouted his nose and waved his fist. "Humph, if you dare to lie to me, I won't forgive you." He turned to the two policemen who brought him over and said, "Brother Xiaolei, Brother Dongdong, please take care of him. This guy is very pitiful." After thinking for a while, he tilted his head and said, "When you guys are questioning him later, you can ask me too. He was abducted when he was a child, and he escaped a while ago and came here. He is going to settle down here. The teacher said he still needs to ask some questions and investigate. You can ask me too." Li Lei listened and said with a smile, "Okay, we'll ask for you. You've already said it, how can we not agree? Don't worry, we will ask for you." "Thank you." Xu Yi smiled and pushed the trolley away. After the people left, Li Lei looked at him and said, "Not bad, kid, you actually know Xu Yi." He laughed, "It's okay, she's a nice girl, very enthusiastic. You're lucky, kid. Xu Yi is paying attention to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to escape today." "What's wrong?" He could tell something was wrong. "Nothing, let's go." "Brothers, what is Xu Yi's identity?" "Xu Yi is our director's daughter. She just graduated from the police academy and is waiting for assignment. Our director asked her to come here to get familiar with the work first so that she won't be too busy when she is assigned." "Is that so?" He was delighted. He didn't expect that he would get to know the director's daughter when he came to consult about something. However, looking at this lively and cheerful girl, and her delicate temperament, she doesn't look like a police officer at all. When they arrived at the interrogation room, Xu Yi greeted them and the two policemen asked him a brief question. They asked him what happened and why they blocked him and attacked him. Anyway, they followed the procedure and he told them everything honestly. Li Lei and Guandongdong did not ask any further questions. Anyway, that's the thing. Whoever says it is right is right. And Daejin's situation at the time was self-defense. There is no responsibility if it is investigated. Just treat it as a civil dispute and whoever is dissatisfied can sue. Chapter 24. Don't be a coward. But when I asked about him being abducted, they became much more serious. Abduction is a big deal no matter where it happens, and he escaped on his own after being abducted. He has been abducted for more than 10 years, and the gang may still be there, so we have to ask him carefully. He slowly recalled and told everything. It was not his fault that he was abducted, so there was no need to hide anything. Li Lei and Guandongdong listened and wrote down everything he said. The questioning lasted for more than 3 hours and many detailed questions were asked. When the questioning was finally over, his stomach was rumbling with hunger. Li Lei heard the noise and said with a smile, "Are you hungry?" "A little bit." He touched his belly. "Okay, nothing else, let's go." Li Lei stood up and said, "Do you want to eat any leftovers from this afternoon in the kitchen? If you do, I'll serve you some." "Okay, thank you, Brother Lei." Li Lei didn't expect that he actually agreed. This was the first time he met someone begging for food in the police station. He couldn't help but laugh. "I was just being polite and you actually agreed." "Okay, wait, I'll serve you some food." He followed behind with a smile. Li Lei served him a big bowl of rice with vegetables on top. He took it and ate it quickly. "The rice in our institute is so delicious. Do you like it?" Li Lei turned his head and looked at him. Yeah, not bad. That's easy. You beat someone up, I'll lock you up for a few days, and you can eat meals in the prison every day. He shrank his neck and said, forget it, I appreciate Brother Lei's kindness. Har har, that's enough, eat now. At this moment, Liu Mei was seen standing at the gate of the police station, peeking inside stealthily. She was visibly stunned when she saw him squatting in the yard eating. Sister Mai, why are you here? Liu Mei walked over quickly. I was worried about you, so I came to take a look. What's wrong with you? I'm fine. I finished asking questions. Brother Lei saw that I was hungry and told me to eat before leaving. Liu Mei heaved a sigh of relief when she heard this, but then she got angry and slapped him hard on the head. I was worried about you at home, but you didn't even call me to let me know that you were okay, and you just sat here and ate. Li Lei laughed. That's right, this kid is so shameless that he even eats the food in the station for free. This is the first time I've seen such a guy. Liu Mei glared at him awkwardly. I'm sorry, officers. How much money do you want? I'll give it to you. Come on, it's nothing, it's just a bowl of rice. Da Zhen quickly finished his meal, went to the kitchen to wash the dishes and put them away, then he said with a smile, Brother Lei, Brother Dong Dong, if there's nothing else, we'll leave first. Okay, let's go. Li Lei waved his hand, suddenly remembering something, and said, oh, there's one more thing. You were abducted and need your genes stored in the genetic database, but our institute doesn't have the conditions. I'll contact you in 2 days. Come over and I'll take you to the county to have your blood drawn for genetic storage. Okay, I'll wait for your news. He waved his hand and left with Liu Mei. On their way back, Liu Mei kept complaining about him, and he smiled happily and apologized. When he got home, he didn't go in, but turned and walked towards Zhao Dahai's house. Hey, what are you doing? I'm going to find Zhao Dahai. This bastard not only attacked me, but he even dared to call the police to arrest me. I can't just let this go. If you go again, they'll call the police and see what you'll do. It's okay. At worst, I can just go back. Sister Mai, you stay at home. Don't worry about it. I know my limits. He strode towards Zhao Dahai's house, and when he got there, he banged on the door. Zhao Dahai, get the hell out of here. You attacked me and even dared to call the police to arrest me. Don't be a coward. Get the hell out of here. Seeing that the other party didn't open the door, he made up his mind. Zhao Dahai, if you have the guts, don't go out for the rest of your life. I'll be guarding your door until you come out. Zhao Dahai, you're fucking dead. Speak up. If this matter is not resolved, I will fight you for the rest of my life. As he spoke, he looked inside with his divine eyes and saw Zhao Dahai hugging his wife Wu Chunfang, huddled in bed with panic on their faces. They took out their cell phones and made a call, as if asking something. He walked quickly to the corner of the other room and vaguely heard Zhao Dahai asking, Brother Chiu, why did Da Zhen get out? Didn't I tell you to lock him up for a few days to teach him a lesson? What? You said he knows the daughter of the chief of our town's police station. How is that possible? He just got here, how could he know her? No, Brother Chiu, you have to help me. He's blocking my door now. This guy is a tough guy and he wants to fight me. I can't solve it by myself. Da Zhen was very happy to hear this. It turned out that Zhao Dahai had asked someone to inform him and wanted to lock him up for a few days. Fortunately, he met Xu Yi, otherwise he might have to stay in there for a few days. Seeing Zhao Dahai hung up the phone with a sad face, he felt happy in his heart. That Brother Chiu should be just an ordinary relationship with him. They could just say hello for small matters. There was nothing he could do when encountering such a thing. He returned to the front door and continued to knock on it. Zhao Dahai, I know you have someone to lock me up for a few days. Do you think I am here for nothing? I have people too. Let's see who has stronger connections. If you fight with me, I will kill you. Get out here right now. We can still talk about this. If you make me angry, I will kill you. He cursed a few more times, and seeing that Zhao Dahai and Wu Chunfang seemed to have no other options, he called Wu Chunfang out. Zhao Dahai was originally a thug in the village. He was usually quite arrogant and had several brothers. How much of a deal could a thug in a village have? He usually bullied some ordinary villagers, but if he really met someone more arrogant than him, he would have no good way to deal with him. Wu Chunfang came to the door, and seemed to hear no movement, so he put his head close to the crack in the door and peeked outside. Da Zhen saw it all, hid aside and watched, then suddenly rushed to the crack of the door and slammed it hard, shouting, "Zhao Dahai, why don't you get out of here?" Wu Chunfang only saw a big face suddenly appear in front of him. He was so scared that he screamed and sat down on the ground, running back in panic. "Wu Chunfang, why are you running away? Tell your man to come out." Wu Chunfang ran 2 steps before he realized what he was going to do. He patted his chest to calm himself down before coming back. "Brother Dajin, don't knock on the door. Lao Zhao is not at home. He is in the hospital. Go ahead." Chapter 25 Confession. Bullshit. He cursed, "I've asked around, he's already back, tell him to come out, I promise I won't kill him." Wu Chunfang said with a sad face, "Da Zhen, he's really not at home. You're hiding from me, right? Fine, I'll find a ladder and go into your house. I want to see if he's there." "No, Dajin, we are neighbors, there is no need to be like this." Wu Chunfang saw that there was no other way, so he had to open the door and begged, "Dajin, we are from the same village, it is not worth it to make things so awkward, I will apologize to you, okay? I just need you to open your mouth." He walked straight into their house. When he entered the door, he saw Zhao Dahai climbing down from the bed in a panic and looking at him in horror. "Brother Dajin, I know I was wrong. I apologize to you. I'm sorry. I won't dare to do it again in the future. Please forgive me and I will compensate you, okay?" He chuckled, walked over, looked at Zhao Dahai's bandaged thigh, and pinched it hard. "Ouch, it hurts, it hurts." Zhao Dahai grimaced in pain and screamed, "Brother Dajin, please forgive me, I really know I was wrong, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." He loosened his hand, and a large amount of blood oozed out from under the gauze. He snorted, "Now you know you are wrong, why the hell did you do that earlier? You thought I was easy to bully, and you dared to call the police to arrest me. You didn't expect that I have no one to help me, did you? I was wrong, I really know I was wrong." Zhao Dahai looked at him with fear and pleading on his face. "Let me spare you?" "Sure." He pulled a stool over and saw a bag of melon seeds on the side, so he took it and cracked it. "For the sake of our being from the same village, I won't make things difficult for you. Please write a self-criticism. Write down the cause, process, and result of the incident. Write down a 5,000-word self-criticism. Write it out and I'll let you go." Zhao Dahai was stunned. What kind of condition was this? A 5,000-word self-criticism. Did they treat him as a student who had made a mistake? However, looking at Da Zhen's arrogant face, he had no choice but to agree. He asked Wu Chunfang to bring him a pen and paper and started writing a self-criticism. The rough man in the village, who had only been to school for a few years, looked very embarrassed when he tried to write. He racked his brains and wrote more than 1,000 words, but he could not write any more. His wrist became sore after writing with his hands that did rough labor for a while. Da Zhen cracked melon seeds while watching him write, and when he saw any typos he would point them out and then scold him. Zhao Dahai managed to get 2,000 words together. The more he wrote, the more desperate he felt. There was really nothing he could write. This was too fucking miserable. He looked up at him with a sad face and asked carefully, "Da Zhen, why don't you just beat me up again? I really can't write so many words." "Hit you? Why would I hit you? If you hit someone for no reason, you will be arrested by the police. Do you think I don't know that? Just write it down when I tell you to, don't be so long-winded." Zhao Dahai had no choice but to continue writing. After a lot of effort, he managed to write a few hundred words. He really didn't know what to write anymore. He looked at Wu Chunfang with a bitter face. Wu Chunfang was in a dilemma and didn't know what to do. After a long while, he knelt on the ground and begged, "Brother Dajin, I really can't write anymore. Please forgive me. I will kowtow to you." Da Zhen saw that it was almost time, so he snorted, took the self-criticism he wrote, took a look at it, and put it in his arms. "Don't mess with me in the future. This is not only your self-criticism, but also your confession. If you mess with me again, I will hand it over to the police and send you to jail." Zhao Dahai was shocked. He thought it was a self-criticism, but it turned out to be a confession. Now that he had been caught, he would have no chance to fight against Dajin anymore. "Let's go." Dajin stood up, cracked some melon seeds while walking out. After he left, Zhao Dahai and Wu Chunfang looked at each other, and Wu Chunfang burst into tears. You damn old man, why did you provoke him? Now that this unlucky god is watching us, how can we live in the village in the future? Zhao Dehai slapped his forehead with a sad face. Who the hell knows he's a fool? I'll just avoid provoking him in the future. There's nothing I can do about it. When Da Zhen returned home, Liu Mei came over hurriedly. What's wrong? Don't worry, let this guy write a confession. If he messes with us again, I will give his confession to the police and make him pay for it. Liu Mei happily read the self-criticism letter. This Zhao Dehai has been rampant in the village for so many years, and you actually caught him. You must have a way. That's right, don't you see who I am? He laughed. It's getting late, I'm going to take a rest. Liu Mei grabbed his arm and hugged him, blushing and whispering, your room is too hot, come to my room to sleep tonight. It's not hot. I'm used to it now. I can't sleep when the temperature is low. He hurriedly pulled it back and rushed back into their house. Seeing him running for his life, Liu Mei stamped her feet in anger and said, what a stinky man who doesn't understand romance. Then she stormed back into their house. Da Zhen was lying on the bed and heard Liu Mei coming back to the room. After a while, thinking that she might have fallen asleep, he slowly got up and went to the yard. He saw that the Panax Noto ginseng in the field had wilted and was obviously dying. He thought for a while and poured a little of his own urine mixed with water on the field, wanting to try if it would still be effective after dilution and see how effective it would be. He planted a few more watermelons, and when he looked up and saw the watermelons in the yard, he thought to himself that these watermelons were expensive and most people would not buy them. Although he had connected with Zhonghuan, the sales volume relying solely on the county government was still too small. In this hot weather, the watermelons could not be eaten and would go bad in a few days if left like this. He still had to find a way to sell more. I was thinking about this in my mind, but I couldn't come up with any idea for a while, so I went back to my room and went to sleep. The next morning, he got up and went to see how the melons and Panax Noto ginseng were growing. He found that they had grown a lot taller, but they were just a lot taller and were far from mature. It seems that the effect is not that strong after dilution. If you want to ripen it quickly, it will take at least 7 or 8 days. He had a clue in his mind. 7 or 8 days was a short time, and he could dilute it a bit more. A batch could be matured in half a month. If the time was too short, others would get suspicious and it would be hard to explain. Also, if the news got out, he would be easily captured and used for human experiments. He prepared the meal, ate it with Liu Mei, moved a few melons onto the tricycle, and rode to see Sun Yang. When he arrived at Sun Yang's door, Sun Yang saw him coming and quickly put down his work to greet him. Brother, why are you here? It's okay, let me take a look. There are some melons on the cart. Take 2 down and give them to your grandma. Thank you, brother. Sun Yang took 2 melons and followed him into their house. He saw that the old lady was in much better spirits than yesterday, but still rather weak. When she saw him, she forced a smile and said, Da Zhen, you're here. I came to see you, how are you feeling today? Much better. It hurt yesterday, but not as bad as before. At least I've made it through. The old lady pointed to a chair in the room and said, you sit down, Xiao Yan, hurry up and pour some water for Da Zhen. No, I just came to see you. I'll be relieved if you're fine. I still have to go to the county to sell watermelons later. You want to sell melons? Ask Xiao Yang to go with you. Don't underestimate him because he is small. He is hardworking and smart. If you have any dirty or tiring work to do, ask him to do it. Sun Yang said hurriedly, brother, I will go with you. Seeing the old lady's worried look, he smiled and said, okay. Let's go together. Xiaofan, you know how to take medicine for your grandma, right? I know. Mash it up before feeding. I did it yesterday. Good boy, take good care of your grandma. Your brother and I will go to the county to sell melons. We will use the money to buy you delicious food. After giving a few instructions, he rode the tricycle and took Sun Yang towards the county. Chapter 26, Get Out. Brother, your melons are too expensive. Most people can't afford them. We can't sell them like this. I know, I'm also thinking of a way. He also knew it, but at the moment, there was no good way. Brother, I know a place that might be able to be sold. Oh? There. It's in a residential area. I heard that many wealthy people in our county live there. There's also a fruit shop there that specializes in selling high-end fruits. A bunch of grapes there costs dozens of dollars. Is there such a place? He understood that this kind of place sells high-quality fruits, many of which are imported from abroad and are expensive. Most people have never even seen them, let alone buy them. Yes, it should be a chain store. I wonder if they want our goods. Let's go and take a look. They rode their tricycle to the gate of the community. The security here was quite strict, and no matter how hard they tried to persuade them, they just wouldn't let them in. The two of them were guarding the tricycle and looking at the gate of the community, feeling a little worried. Brother Dajan. He heard a voice and looked back, only to see Zhang Huan driving in front of the brake, lowering the window and calling him. Sister Huaner, why are you here? He ran over and asked with a smile. My home is right here. Zhang Huan said with a smile, what are you doing? I'm still talking about melons. My melons are expensive, but the high price has its own high quality, you know, but most people can't afford them. I heard that there is a store in our community that specializes in selling high-end fruits, so I wanted to try my luck here, but the security guards in our community are too dedicated and won't let us in. Call me for this. Zhang Huan laughed and shouted to the security booth, Xiao Zhang, open the door and ask them to come in. The security guard at the security booth heard the call and quickly poked his head out and said with a smile, okay, sister. Thank you, Sister Huaner. He hurried back and brought back a watermelon, and put it in through the window. Sister Huaner, you helped me a lot, you keep this watermelon, and let me know when it tastes good, and I'll give it to you. I'm so sorry. Zhang Huan said with a smile, there's one more thing. Tomorrow a leader from the city will come to inspect. You're sending 5 melons to the county. Oh, and I have a suggestion for you. You'd better put the melons in a gift box, both big and small. If leaders or merchants from outside come to inspect in the future, we can give them as gifts, which will look good, right? Oh, Sister Huaner, you are really my benefactor. I didn't even think of this. I will do it when I get back. What's the use of being a noble or not? All right, you go ahead and do your work. I'm going in now. After watching Zhang Huan go in, he ran to a nearby store and bought 2 boxes of cigarettes and went to the security booth. Brother Zhang, thank you for today. Take these cigarettes. I will definitely need to trouble you a lot in the future. Security guard Zhang Chao took the cigarette with a smile and said, why didn't you tell me you knew Sister Zhang earlier? Look how embarrassing this has become. Okay, go in. Tell me if you have anything to say later. As he rode his tricycle in, his son Sun Yang asked in confusion, brother, why did you buy cigarettes for that security guard? This deal is done. We want to do long-term business in the future. We can't call Director Zhang Huan every time we come here. It's a favor for people to help us occasionally, but people will get annoying over time. We should take this opportunity to build a good relationship with them so that we can have less trouble in the future. Even if the deal fails, we will only lose $100, which is no big deal. Is that so? Sun Yang's face was full of realization. Once you enter the community, the store is quite obvious. It is located in the garage downstairs as you enter the community. There are 3 garages connected to it. The interior is decorated quite luxuriously, and it is obvious that it is not an ordinary fruit store. He walked in and took a look around. It was indeed a boutique fruit store. Most of the products sold there were imported goods, or imported boutique goods. The prices on the labels were easily dozens of yuan per pound, and the cheapest was more than 10 yuan per pound. Just looking at the prices is enough to shock people. The life of these rich people is really luxurious. Eating a bunch of grapes can cost hundreds of dollars. What are you looking at? The salesperson behind the cash register called out in a bad tone. Oh, hello. I want to ask, is our store manager here? What do you want to see our store manager for? The salesperson frowned, looking rude. I sell watermelons. I want to see if our watermelons can be sold in our store. You're here to sell me something. The salesperson's tone became even worse. Don't you see that this is a boutique fruit store? We sell high-end products imported from abroad. The starting price is more than 10 yuan per pound. Do you think your watermelon is worthy of that? Get out of here quickly. I'll clean up the mess. You look so tattered. Don't make it dirty again. He frowned. A third-rank official in front of the Prime Minister must be an extraordinary person to be able to open such a large fruit store in this place. He said patiently, our watermelons are also carefully cultivated. They sell for 51 kilograms outside. Not only are they delicious, but they also have medicinal effects. Please ask the store manager to come over. I want to talk to him. Har har, what kind of person are you? You're a liar. The watermelon weighs 51 kilograms, and you're made of gold. Besides, our store manager is always available if you want to. Hurry up and leave, someone will be here soon. Seeing you here will lower the quality of our fruit store. Da Gen couldn't help but get angry when he heard this. They were all ordinary people. It's just that you work on a good platform, but when you go out into the world, it doesn't necessarily mean you are much better than others. Why are you talking so angrily now? But seeing that the other person was a woman, he endured it, said nothing, turned around and went out, ready to wait at the door for a while. Who knew that before 2 minutes had passed, the salesperson came running out and yelled, "I didn't tell you to leave. What are you doing in front of our store? You're affecting our business. I've already told you that your watermelon is not worthy." Da Gen couldn't help getting angry and glanced at him coldly. "This road in front of the door is not yours, why do you need to care about me there? You are hindering our business." The salesperson saw that he dared to talk back and angrily scolded him, "You old peasant, you don't understand what I'm saying to you, right? You have to ask me to chase you away? What's the security guard at the door for? How could he let you in like this? Believe it or not, I will call him to complain." "Little flower, who are you talking to?" A car drove over and stopped in the garage on the side. A woman dressed exquisitely in a floral dress got out. The woman wore sunglasses and had her hair in a bun. Her skin was fair and translucent, especially the 2 lumps on her chest, which made her skirt bulge out and sway when she walked. "Sister, these 2 old farmers came to our store to sell watermelons. I told them that we sell high-quality fruits here and their goods cannot be delivered. They didn't listen and insisted on waiting for you here. I chased them away but they still refused to leave. Isn't that infuriating?" "Oh." The woman took off her sunglasses and glanced at them indifferently, "Just ask the security to chase them away." Then she walked into the store without looking back. When Xiaohua heard this, she immediately perked up and shouted at them, "If you hear the door, get out of here, or I'll call security." Chapter 27 Stretch Marks. Da Gen saw that this woman was the owner of this shop, so he jumped down and shouted, "Boss, let's talk. Our watermelons are different from ordinary watermelons. The county government has accepted our watermelons and used them to entertain guests. They also asked us to make them into gift boxes to give away. Our watermelons are not only of good quality and taste good, but also have certain medicinal value. They can whiten the skin, fade spots, promote diuresis and relieve constipation, and clear away heat and reduce internal heat. If you don't believe me, you can try it." The woman didn't believe it at all. She walked into the store without looking back, sat behind the cash register and looked at the account book. "Are you stupid? Okay, I'll call the security." Xiaohua ran to the side and shouted, Xiao Zhang, come here. How did you guard the door? How did you let anyone in? It's obvious that the man on the tricycle is not from our community. How did you let him in? Our boss is angry and told you to kick him out." When Zhang Chao heard the shouting, he trotted over. When he saw it was Dajin and the others, he looked embarrassed. "No, what are you standing there for? Get rid of that person." He saw Zhang Chao's embarrassment and said with a smile, "Brother Chao, it's okay, I'll say a few more words and leave right away." He looked at the woman sitting behind the cashier and shouted, "Boss, if I'm not mistaken, you just gave birth to a child. Our watermelon can reduce stretch marks, and it works quickly. You can see the effect in a short while. If you don't believe me, I'll cut a watermelon for you to try." The woman frowned and looked at him. "Sorry, I don't have time now, please go." Xiaohua pulled Zhang Chao and said, "Why are you still standing there? Didn't you hear what the boss said?" Zhang Chao said in embarrassment, "Boss Yi, it's not that I don't want to drive him away. This is an acquaintance of Director Zhang Huan. Director Zhang heard that he was going to come here to sell melons, so he asked me to let him in. He also asked him to send a few melons to the county government tomorrow to entertain VIPs. He also asked him to make a special gift box to hold the gift, and the county would give it to someone." When Boss Yi heard this, he was stunned. He thought it was a liar and didn't believe it. But Zhang Chao said that this was actually an acquaintance of Zhang Huan, and the county government really ordered the melons from him and wanted to give them away as gifts in the county. If it can be given as a gift to VIPs by the county, it must be carefully selected. It must either have a profound cultural background and be representative, or it must be a specialty with local characteristics and a certain reputation, or it must be expensive. Is there really something different about this melon? She thought of the stretch marks on her belly. It had been less than a year since she gave birth, but her belly was still wrinkled and covered with stretch marks. Even though she bought the best skin care products outside, the effect was average. Seeing the wrinkled belly every day is like seeing an old lady's face growing on the belly, which makes him hard to accept. He can even feel that his husband is obviously not as interested as before when being intimate with him. If this melon really has the effect of fading stretch marks, he doesn't mind giving it a try. Are you serious? Boss Yi looked up at Daejin. Can you lend me our knife for a moment? I'll cut a melon open for you and you eat it. Then we can verify it on the spot. If what I said is a lie, I promise I will never appear in front of you again. Boss, you really believe him? I think he is a liar. Xiaohua shouted, unconvinced. Shut up. Boss Yi frowned. Xiaohua didn't dare to say anything immediately, but still glared at Daejin with an unconvinced look on her face. Daejin cut the watermelon into small pieces and handed it over. Boss Yi, have a try. Boss Yi looked at the color of the melon flesh and found that it was indeed more juicy than ordinary melons. The smell of the melon was even fresher. After just sniffing it a few times, he felt a little better. He took a bite of the watermelon and was delighted by its sweetness. He couldn't help but eat a few more bites and exclaimed, "The watermelon tastes really good. Our melon not only tastes good, but also has medicinal effects. Eat 2 more pieces. I'll wait for 10 or 20 minutes to see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll leave right away." Boss Yi said nothing and ate another piece. Although the melon was delicious and worth the price of 51 kilograms, he still didn't quite believe in its medicinal effects. Xiaohua came over, looked at Boss Yi who was eating melon, and whispered, "Even the most expensive cosmetics can't help with stretch marks, but eating melon can make them fade. If it works, I'll kneel down for you." Daejin glanced at him. This woman was taking advantage of her position to bully others and was full of foul language. She was not a good person. He had been holding back a rage for a long time. When he heard him say that, he immediately followed his words and said, "Are you serious?" Xiaohua got excited when she heard this and said loudly, "I dare to take it seriously." "Do you dare? If you dare, let's make a bet. If it works, I will kneel down and call you Grandpa. If it doesn't work, you kneel down and call me Grandma, and promise not to sell watermelons anymore. Do you dare?" "Okay, but this bet is unfair. If I lose, not only will I have to kneel down, but my livelihood will also be cut off, but you will be fine. This won't work. If you lose, leave here and stay away from me in the future." "Okay." Xiaohua glared, "I'll wait for you to call me Grandma." Daejin ignored him. If he continued talking, it would seem that he was being petty. Seeing that 20 minutes had passed, Xiaohua couldn't wait to say, "Boss, look, he didn't even mention it, he must be feeling guilty. Boss Yi, I'll step aside for a moment." He turned and walked out of the fruit shop and waited outside. Boss Yi felt a little fond of his actions. He lifted up the clothes on his belly and took a look. His eyes froze for a moment. The stretch marks on his belly had actually faded a little. He looked at the watermelon on the counter in shock. Could this thing really be effective? Xiaohua saw the stretch marks on Boss Yi's belly and exclaimed in surprise, "Boss, there are still stretch marks." "I said, he is a liar." Boss Yi couldn't help but frown when he heard this. These stretch marks were his worry. He was worried to death because his worry hadn't been cured. This guy was so happy that her stretch marks hadn't disappeared. His tone immediately turned cold. "Xiaohua, it seems that I have been too indulgent towards you. You can get this month's salary and leave now." Xiaohua's face changed when she heard this. "Boss, why? I didn't lose the bet." "You lose. My stretch marks have indeed faded a little." Boss Yi said coldly, "He only said faded, he didn't say eliminated, so, you lose." Xiaohua's face turned pale. If he hadn't known that Boss Yi didn't know the melon seller, he would have thought that Boss Yi had teamed up with the other party to cheat him. Daejin also heard the voices from inside and walked back in. Looking at Xiaohua, who was in shock and panic, he knew the result. "Looks like you lost."